Live as your head's at the bottom.
Shit. Am I good?
Welcome everyone.
What's up?
You can just move to your left and a little up.
Left?
I think your dog knocked the camera more than we thought.
Oh, no. Let me fix it.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Get out of here, boy.
No. And then I
All right.
got all that headspace.
Is it better?
Your head is in the center now. I can see the entire... How many monitors do you have?
A lot. Yes.
The one above your head, I'd see the entire thing.
Cool. Oh, I had a thing playing on there. That's not good.
All I see
I just have 40K in the background.
Oh, look at that.
Let me fix...
There goes the
I got
compression.
40K for everybody. There goes what?
It's your camera's getting the lighting of that and darkening you. You look like what is it called? The Rake now. Or Jeff the Killer. All right, there we go. So what are we doing today?
We are... Wait, am I that dark? Oh, man. That is really low. Let me get up higher. No! My dog hit it again. Dog hit it.
Did your dog eat the homework as well?
He ate my homework. Am I too backlit? Is that what's happening? Too many monitors in my face, I guess.
I think it's just that top monitor doing it.
Want me to shut it off?
Yeah, since when we were preparing, you were fine until you hit play on that. Oh, nice tan audio.
Thank you.
You're as dark as the Dark Angels. The Dark Angels are green.
Let me know if that does anything. Otherwise,
it's better.
Whatever.
I'm pretty bright.
It's better.
Bright.
Let me see if this will work.
Ooh.
Does that work?
So far, I'd say so.
This is why we stream at the studio, by the way. Perfect timing. Get out of here, boy.
What did I just hear? Why do I hear myself?
I hear it. Are you playing it somewhere?
Yes, this is what the logos were for, Evan. Oh, hey, VTS.
Okay,
thank you for the 5 gifted subs already. Wow.
VTS 5. He was on the show yesterday. If you didn't see the live stream. Oh, no, not soccer.
Yo, the game's
we're gonna get demonetized.
That was YouTube. A trick on YouTube for a while. Just have someone zoomed in on their face wearing glasses while they're watching the game.
That is really bright. Let me
it might just be good to shut it off.
No, not the audio. Not the audio.
I can't hear it anyway. I think we're just watching advertisements with Claudio now.
Yeah, advertisements with Claudio. All right, this is really dark, but I'm using a really bad webcam, and because I couldn't get my good camera going, our good camera from the studio. But anyways, I'm here in spirit.
Here in spirit, literally a ghost.
I'm here as a shadow.
Anyway.
Shadow of the warp. Yes, we were talking about VTS 5. Let's get into that first. VTS 5 came on the show. The first king.
Yes, thank you for coming yesterday.
Yes, that was awesome. It was a fun match. What else? We had a good time, and VTS, he'll be back. VTS will be back. He's a Chad, and if you don't know who he is, get to know him in Discord. It's free to join, and he paints Dark Angels, and he'll post this stuff in there if you guys want to see it. And let us know if you want to come on for a live stream. By the way, anybody in the area, like around the Toronto area, if you want to come in the studio, just let us know. Send us a message, and we're always down to play with people in the community. It's a good time. But yeah, another 5 subs, or members. What did he do? He gifted 5 memberships. Beautiful. He's a Chad.
So it was fun. We learned about
what I wanted to say. We learned. So is that how it works? By the way,
fights first. Yes. With fights first, you do all fights first, with the defender going first.
Yes.
And then you do fights normal with the defender going first. So if you're in the same state, defender activates first.
So it only affects it for the first fight,
I guess.
So fighting first only. I mean, sorry. Being a defender, it only matters for the first fight.
Yeah, then it's alternating again.
Yeah.
Unless all your units are fights first and none of theirs are.
That is good to know. It comes. I guess it comes up rarely, but it does happen.
Lower your volume a bit. There we go.
All right.
Yes. Also with pistols,
Yes.
definitely. I'm still gonna say I'm right with the Hellblasters shooting on destroyed.
I'm gonna fix this camera slightly and try to
Yeah,
put it a little further
VTS.
back.
Yes, all fight first units attack. But if you both have fights first, the defender fights first, and then you alternate with fights first. After fights first is done, it's fight normal, and it's the same thing.
I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to do this. You know why this is all happening, right?
Nope.
I couldn't get their good camera to work, so I have to use the webcam that we do tournament live streams for. Yeah, I think that works. There we go. I can see myself.
Much better.
If I can see me, you can see me. All right. So let's talk about Pariah Nexus. Let's get into it. The meta's wide open, honestly. There's a lot of things that can happen early on here, I think. We were talking about it with VTS yesterday. Gladius for, we'll get into it a little bit more, but Gladius for Dark Angels is going to be nasty. They're going to be they're going to be really good. Like, I don't know if they're going to be S tier. We got to see more data on what happens, but they have a potential, especially if good players in the scene start playing Dark Angels, which there are a few members on Team Canada that play Dark Angels. So you're going to see that being really, really good. The Lion's so fun, like just Kool-Aiding through the buildings and being able to breach and walk through stuff and just slap you in the face. He did whiff really hard yesterday. VTS will tell you guys in the chat about that.
But it is a dice game.
He went into 5 Death Guard left, and he only took out 1. It was a really, really bad roll and a really good roll by me, but it was poor Lion.
Poor Lion.
Let's get into it. So look what we're starting with. Justin's favorite.
Oh yeah, it's in alphabetical order from how I named the files. Adeptus Mechanicus. Wow, they got stronger. I've fought them 2 or 3 times now, and they are way different to fight. A little, I won't say harder to predict once you learn it, but it's no longer the simple thing of stand at home and get armor contempt on top of cover or assault. And that was basically it. I know, like the AP one. Now they can get +1 weapon skill or +1 ballistic skill, or I think they can still get assault. Ways to buff up melee, shooting, extra AP on shooting.
Yes.
And then they can get heavy, which also, VTS, thank you for gifting another 5 subs.
Oh
10
my
subs
God,
already.
VTS.
Wow. Or memberships.
The
my
man.
bad.
He is he's the first king for a reason.
And the true king.
He's the first king for a reason. And the true king, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, VTS. You are a true Chad.
I don't have the pop-ups on this scene, I just realized.
The pop-ups? Oh, it doesn't come
the
up
alerts, yes.
The announcements, yeah.
Since we had this before, we did that.
Yeah.
I will get them in. But yes,
before we go on forward, before we start going on forward, is there anything Justin told you about AdMech before before yesterday?
Very happy with AdMech.
Yeah.
He thinks
I think they're in a good place, right?
Robots are dead again. He had like a robot idea build, and that's kind of dead in the water now. But everything else is so much better. He even wants to do a battle shock build.
Really?
Yeah, because if you battle shock, your action fails, and he can make you -2.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you were saying. I'm saying battle shock's going to be a big strat for them for sure.
Yeah, since -2 leadership as an aura around the infiltrators, I believe they're called. And then you could force a battle shock, I think, if you're in melee with them. Or go rad bombardment and force battle shock again on top of that. Just, try to get them to fail their actions. Doesn't matter what they draw if they cannot do it.
Exactly. And I don't know if you mentioned it. I was fixing my camera and I'm in like La La Land, but the turning off or lowering the OC, taking people down to 0, it's gonna be really good.
Especially with what they can do now, being tankier, faster, and shootier.
Yes. Shootier.
Yeah, it's a word technically.
Is Justin in the chat?
I don't think so.
I want to know what he thinks about breachers.
He still doesn't like breachers. He thinks not better. He still wouldn't take them because if
Yeah.
I remember right, they lost a lot and didn't really gain much. Yes, they can hit
Right.
better, but it won't help that much.
Right.
Everything else in AdMech got lifted up enough that you can run a variety of lists.
Very true. Yeah.
So
Um,
I don't know how
I think.
amazing they'll be, but they're fun.
Listen, I think they'll be better. Like, I mean, it's not much to. They were really bad before, so I
Oh,
hope they're better.
they were
So they
joke.
will be better. That's guaranteed. AdMech fans can say, like, because I think we were saying as well when we were doing live streams and stuff, that there was early on when the AdMech stuff dropped, there was so much excitement. AdMech players were coming out of the fringe. They're like, oh, can't wait to start playing. And it just went down like downhill, like a slope in what, a month. And AdMech players basically went from, yeah, we're not the best, but it's fun and we can do stuff and we can still, roll with the punches and maybe place at tournaments. And
We
they
got our
just like
codex
they
early.
basically gave up. Like AdMech players basically gave up on what they were doing because it wasn't working. Things were too expensive, and a lot of nerfs well, they weren't huge nerfs, but they were enough to just tank the army at that point. Now I think they're in a good spot.
They are at the very least fun to play, and I think that's mostly what matters.
I don't want to say anything today is like don't take, or what are the rankings you have, by the way? I didn't even check those. I know you did some
So
custom
the
rankings.
top is broken, which
Okay.
we'll probably see one or two there. Then amazing
be
is
a
the
few.
tier below. Doing fine is the middle tier. Might suffer is below that, and then finally, good grief, GW, why?
See, I don't think this, and I don't think anything's going to be in that. Like
I don't
GW
think
did
so.
a really good job with this data slate. Like things are going to be pretty balanced. Of course, we have to see data go in and games being played, majors being played to see like the actual numbers. It's also there's going to be the meta is going to swing with what's being top meta because we know sisters are going to be top meta. We know blood angels are going to be there. I'm not trying to give anything away, but we kind of know what's going to be strong, and armies below them are going to kind of alter their list so they can compete with those type of armies, unless you want to just be a mid-table stomper and you're happy coming in 21st place at a big event. But if you want to compete with those big armies, you're going to have to play a certain way. So that's going to change as the meta starts swinging early on here. So I don't want to say anybody's really out the door yet. I think everybody has a chance here early on, if that makes sense. Do you agree with that?
Actually, because the data slate went from like 2 pages to 7. They did a lot of changes to a lot of armies, clarified a lot of rules that
Yep.
everybody feels in a good spot so far to me.
I still think engage in all fronts is like too easy, but
Yes,
there
but it doesn't
another
score you
time.
that much.
It doesn't, and you can take it as a fixed, right?
Yes, and you always have the
Yeah,
problem
that's
of
great.
getting the opponent's corner.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, where do you think they belong? I'll let you go first.
I'm kind of stuck between doing fine and amazing. I got to see the craftier stuff AdMech players come up with now that they can actually play the game again. So I would want to put them at
Yeah.
like low end of amazing. It depends. How do you think of amazing versus doing fine?
So for me, I'm still in my head. I'm thinking red is S tier,
Yes.
A, B, C, D. Like, and that just for we have the wording there for fun, but I have them mid pack still. So I think doing fine is where they're gonna start with this early meta.
They
If
kind of feel like
you agree with that.
I do agree with that. They kind of feel like the army that's kind of the best baseline to base everyone else around now.
Yeah, they'll be fine at tournaments. They'll be at worst going 3 and 2 and 2, 3 and 1. I don't know if they're going to be contending with those top armies. I don't know if they have what it takes to do that. We'll have to see, but I think they're in a good position right now. I don't think they're not an A tier though, in my opinion.
Yes.
But the turning off OC is going to be huge for them, especially in the way Pariah plays out.
I just can't wait to see them use more units than just breachers, boats, and Scutari.
Exactly.
Like Doom crawlers are going to be really good. They quadrupled the amount of shots or something tripled the shots for the anti-infantry gun.
That's right.
Yeah. That was nuts to learn.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Do you know what it is? I want to see if you can tell from the symbols as we go.
Is that Death Watch?
That is not Death Watch.
Wait, I can't see then.
That is,
What is it?
Agents of the Imperium.
Oh, that's agents. Okay.
Inquisition logo.
Does Grey Knights count as that? Because Grey Knights are rumored to be going with them. So
And Death Watch.
if we count,
Hey, Miyazaki, thank you for becoming a knight. That's the middle tier.
oh no, thanks a lot. He is.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that's he's no. We is that who I think it is?
He's been here since the start. Yeah, a long
Yeah,
time.
thanks, bud.
Big fan.
He is.
Love him.
He's a great supporter, and he's been around for a long time. Thank you so much for being a knight. You're going to. There you go. Guess who has some company?
Oh yeah.
VTS.
So
VTS 5.
VTS is king.
The two kings.
There is another knight.
Oh,
though.
he's a king. He's a king. That's right. No, you don't have company yet, VTS. Sorry.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yes. I mean,
I'll let you take this one since you're the.
I have a lot
you're
of
the expert on
agents
this one.
models. I have rogue traders,
Yeah.
voidsmen. I have inquisitorial acolytes stuff. I have a bunch of agents.
Yeah.
If anything's going to be good grief, why it would kind of be this army. It still
You
has issues of technically not being a legal. I don't remember if it's detachment or not, or army. I know they fixed one issue but didn't fix another with them. But you could still play them. Kenny actually did a good job with them against me because he took a joke list with it and I took a joke autocannon list, and they can take a lot of damage. The acolytes are 2 wounds each and can have a 5-up invuln, which you don't expect 2 wounds on normal guys. But they do their job of joining the real armies and buffing them.
Yeah.
So them as an army, I would
No way.
probably put as might suffer at best.
Yeah, I think if you're going to put, I think this is like, I agree with you. If you're going to put them, this is the worst. They're going to be the bottom. So nothing's going to be lower than this. So where do you think they go? Is basically what I'm
There is
asking.
one army I didn't put in this list because it's kind of obvious. Titans.
Yeah.
Titans would just be in good
right.
grief.
Of course.
I did not put them in, even though they're playable. But
So we said we're not going to put anybody in,
good grief.
like basically don't take, but I think these guys are the bottom of.
They're the bottom of the barrel. Not barrel.
Yeah.
They're fun, cool army, but
They're good. They're good if you want to take an assassin, in your list, it's fine. As
Calidus.
yeah, like I know you guys take the Calidus a lot, but like as an army, we're talking as an army, right?
Yeah, as an army,
Or are we just
you're not going to go far.
if you're going to take them in as add-ons into armies, they could be decent, but overall, yeah, they're going to be the worst. They're going to be the worst.
I hope someone sees that and tries to prove me wrong, and they go like try to win a tournament with Please, please do.
Oh my god. Who's next?
That's the Divergent chapter, the Black Templars.
Listen, the Black Templars.
They're nuts.
Already pretty good.
They're well, they're not nuts. They were really good in Ironstorm before, but they got nerfed. They can no longer take 6 Lancers. Good.
Yes, right. Yeah, that was a little bit too broken.
I luckily never fought that. I don't think it's that common. But
yeah.
God, who was doing that?
They're still very tanky. I still think they get bogged down. They can get screened really easily. I know, like you played Franklin, and he had some trouble playing against guard because you just
too much
surrounded him with a bunch of like bodies, and it was like, yeah, they're very elite, but I think they're going to be really good in Pariah with the missions and the way scoring happens now. They're going to be able to sit in objectives, be just super tanky, hold a bunch of objectives, especially like stuff like terraform, and just sit there, get their terraform, get their primaries, and we know how easy secondaries are to get in general for 10th edition. So I think they're going to be really, really strong.
Franklin
they might not be
S
tier. He does.
Yeah.
Franklin plays them a bit different. Yeah. But that being said, I still think they're going to be
doing
probably
fine,
A tier.
I'd say. Oh, A tier.
I think they're going to be A tier. Yeah.
The 20-man bricks, or like 20 plus man that are Fionno Pained plus Space Marines. That's really good and annoying. A lot of armies can't deal with that. The problem is the armies that can deal with them cleave through them.
Yeah, exactly. I would put them like, I'd put them in orange for sure, A tier, right now. There might be armies ahead of them for sure though.
There will be.
Yeah.
The next one, oh, actually, first before you go to the next one, is the Custodes the only assassin we're taking now? To most people, yes. I would say no. Custodes kind of got a side grade where she can no longer globally +1 CP or strategic battle tactics. But now it's an aura of -1 around 12 inches of her at all times. So you can put her in the middle of a spot, and that could, what's it called? Hit a lot of stratagems. But she now has to get in lone op range, which is dangerous for her. And that's more interactive and fun to me. She's still worth it solely for the uppy downy. Like, literally just
Uppy downy.
being able to, like, imagine you get containment and you just go up and then go to an edge and, oh, look, 3 points.
Yes.
And then
Exactly.
The Evisaur, I would say, it is worth taking for the Scout. It's, what, Scout 9? Plus, like...
Oh, the Evisaur Assassin.
Yeah, it's like Scout 9, moves 8 or 9. And he could just blast across the board. And honestly, he doesn't really do damage. But he has his utility. Vindicare, I hate. Not hate. I hate what they've done to him. And then, what's the last one?
What did they do to my boy?
Yeah, he used to always ignore invulns. Now, once a game, he could ignore all saves.
Yes.
Wow, you just got flashbanged.
What happened?
Whatever that white background is.
Where?
Whatever's behind
Here?
you. Woo.
Oh, it's
the moon.
I don't know. It's is it that bright?
You keep going in from like visible to shadow specter.
There you go. I can turn it off. Well, if I turn off the top one, my lights are gonna shine.
I can't
there
even
you go.
remember the name of the
Flashbang.
fourth assassin. That should tell you what I think of it. But I think some people use it effectively.
Okay.
Anyway, the next army, I don't know too much about, but they kind of are better. Alcalaxis, thank you. It's the Chaos Knights. They have an upgrade now they can walk through walls. Yes, they already have a stratagem that does that, but you don't have to take a test doing that. And you could use it on the little guys, the war dogs. So, I don't know. They're still knights. It's a skew army. What can I say?
Yep. I'll let you. I mean,
Kenny's the one that plays them. So I've only fought them, but I know there's a skew army of knights. They can do actions while in combat and a bunch of other stuff, which is nice.
They'll hit hard. I just think they're going to be like those mid. They're going to be mid-table. Like, let's be honest.
It's probably going to be armature, like war dog spam still, even though the big guys could walk through walls. Like, great. And that's still big guys.
Exactly, and it doesn't work as well as it used to. So,
I think they're going to suffer a bit.
They will. They'll be in like bottom of doing fine.
So how do you do the tiers again? Is left better or right better?
The closer you get to the left, you're better. So if you're the first one on the list, then you're the top.
There we go.
How do you read a book, Anthony? Left to right or right to left?
What part of the country
are you Japanese? Japan.
I mean, I'm not grabbing that. Next army is your army.
What? I have lots of armies.
The Spiky Devils, but with power
Spiky
armor.
Devils. That's basically like chaos anything.
Well, power armor.
Chaos?
Yeah, it's just Chaos Space Marines.
Generic chaos. What do you think chaos is going to be, Anthony?
I'm scared of them because some of those detachments are really fun and scary.
Yeah.
Like your Alpha Legion thing you wanted to do.
I don't think Alpha Legion stuff will be that. It'll be all right. I think Lone Op's going to be really good with, especially being able to do. Well, you can't do what's it called anymore as a fixed.
Recover assets.
What's it called? Recover assets. Because that would have been really good for Lone Op armies. But I still think, the meta for them is going to be how fast can they not die. Because like, what do you are you going to be taking? You're not going to take a Vash Tour list, are you? Vash Tour list is going to.
He has an interesting list though.
He does. It's not
And
bad.
he buffs what are they called? Soul grinders from demons. So you can take
Yes.
demons from chaos demons and buff the
Yep.
soul grinder with Vashtor.
Yep.
That is the most interesting thing I've seen with him.
Do you like the Vashtor list?
I like fighting it because it's different.
I think
Vashtor doesn't even work in his
like
own
they're
list.
fluffy. Like the chaos stuff is fluffy. I think Space Marines, like vanilla Space Marine stuff and chaos stuff is gonna be very similar into how it plays in this meta. I think it's gonna be around the same area. It's gonna be like mid tier, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think Chaos are going to do well. They still have Dark Packs.
They'll be good. Like I'm just guessing at this point because we have to play them, right? But I think they'll struggle against Blood Angels. I think they'll struggle against Sisters of Battle. I think they'll struggle against Thousand Suns. So I'm just thinking in my head, if you go to a tournament, you're going to see a lot of those lists now. You're not going to probably be able to win with Chaos Space Marines or vanilla Space Marines. So they'll still hold their own. They're just not going to be. I don't think they're going to be A tier, is what I'm saying. They're going to be like middle there. They'll be top of middle there.
Like doing
tier.
fine tier? Like the middle tier?
Like top of doing fine, yeah. So B tier. When I say
tier.
B tier, I mean doing
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Top of B tier. You know what? I just realized I should turn off mouse capture cursor off.
They're top of B tier for now.
For now.
Where's
I
my poor
still think they're
Eldar?
really good.
Where's my poor Eldar?
You poor Eldar. Next is
Yeah.
Custodes. They got a big buff. Like
They're going to be good.
it was huge. They're not going to be amazing. They're still suffering from their sins of early 10th. But
They'll be good, though.
devastating wounds are now mortals, which really helps with the Talons detachment. And
Yeah.
Orc Champions got buffed at its character units instead of character models for the +1 to wound.
Let me see here. Yes.
And what else? They did get buffed. I don't remember what else they did. Actually, I can load up the balance status slate and go right to it.
Go right to it.
Since
They have. I mean,
Custodes? I can just switch to tier 2. Oh, look.
I think they can go either way. Honestly, they're one of those armies.
Yes. So martial mastery for one of the detachments now lets you do both of them at once instead of just one.
I still think they're going to suffer from being too elite, and they lost a lot of fights first, and all those nerfs they took were a little bit too much to make up for. Even though I think Pariah is going to be a little easier on them to score, it's still going to be hard for them to compete with the top tiers. Do you think AdMech are better than Custodes?
No. Custodes got buffed, but they were like bottom of the barrel like a couple weeks ago. Just because their codex really hit them.
I think utility-wise, I think AdMech's going to be better than Custodes.
Yeah. I still think Custodes are going to suffer, but
Yeah.
they're not going to be like in pain. They'll play, they'll do fine, and they'll close the gap, but they're still not like Orc Champions isn't going to carry you. What is it? Shield Host is still really nice.
Yeah.
Or Talons.
Yeah. What's his name? The Blade Champion still does his stupid stuff, so they'll be good in combat. But losing fights first is gonna be big for them. Like ask Justin.
That's where I'm kind of getting it from. He was like, he likes the changes for it, but it's no longer like, for him it was AdMech. Like he really wanted not AdMech to suffer. He likes playing suffering armies, and he's switching to AdMech though just because of the changes. And Custodes, he's not looking at too much. I think they're just because they're in a fine spot, so it doesn't interest him.
I think AdMech are going to be. I think AdMech are going to be slightly better than them by a bit.
By a bit, I think more than a bit.
So let's put them. Where do you got them?
Personally, at the top of Might Suffer.
Really? Okay,
Yes.
I'm good with that. I was gonna say they're gonna probably end up more towards like, sorry, what's the middle one? Doing fine.
Well, they're hyper elite. Actions are way more specific on how to do them now, so
Yeah.
they don't really have the bodies to do that. Their
Exactly.
dreadnoughts still suck. The bikes still suck, but they got some buffs.
Going fixed with them is probably more the way you want to go with them, because can you imagine like having to do sorry, I keep forgetting the name of it, the one where you do an
Recover
action in
assets.
3 different
Yeah, recover assets.
asset. Like imagine using 3 units that are like 200 and something points each.
It might not be that bad for them. One Sisters unit, one
might.
Cowardice, and then maybe
not
your
be.
brick in the middle.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
It's more like
we'll
what
see.
fixed
See how
what
the
they would
list
do.
looks.
Engage, they're a little too slow for. Cleanse, they don't have the bodies for. Storm Hostile is
You can
Storm
do
Hostile.
Well, you can do engage because you just have so many Terminators. You can just bring Terminators in, and
Yeah, and then it's hard to get
guys
them out
can
of the
just go
corner.
in. You can put them in every corner, and so they can get their secondaries. It's like we said, it's going to be doing actions and not being able to fight first in situations against armies that can hit a lot harder, and then they're not as good as they were before, because before they were really, really good. So I think they went from A to like C. So
They're
if we're going to
still
keep true with
suffering through the sins of fights first everywhere.
the sins of their fathers. Okay, so I'll agree with you that they go to at the top of suffering slightly.
Yes. Next up, we have Chaos Demons, and I haven't heard good things, but I don't play them, so I don't know.
Wait, what did you hear?
Just what really changed for them in Pariah? Nurglings got hit hard.
Who?
Nurglings.
Oh yeah.
Like, what else do you have to be like action monkeys? What else? If you take the big guys, you don't have the bodies anymore.
Well, Nurglings got hit hard across the board because all Chaos brought Nurglings to do, shenanigans in the backfield, and Chaos were bringing a squad of Nurglings or two to just go and do teleport homers and whatever. So they're just going to be squatted. But I like that. I like that change. I don't think 40-point units should be scoring more points than a 300-point Terminator unit. It just makes no sense.
Oh,
Like, in
Demons
my
got a
mind.
decent amount of changes.
They did, yeah. Are you looking at the?
Here, I can show what I'm looking at. I have the
You can
data slate up, and I also have the field manual. So a bunch of stuff got cheaper.
Sharing your screen.
Yes. I have it fade in and out. But a lot of stuff got cheaper. Nurglings.
Okay. Schmurglings. How much did they go down to?
So one unit, a 3-man is still 40 points. A 6-man is now 70 points. And a 9-man is 105.
Yeah, congratulations. They can't do anything except be annoying.
They could really tie something up, I think. Plague drones got cheaper.
I don't want to say really tie it up, but they're only like toughness, 2?
Yeah. But what changed here? So I don't know what changed with Shadow of the Warp. One enemy is within your army shadow range, or within. Oh, your big units give shadows around them all the time.
Yeah, so you can
To enemy units.
put up a bloodthirster and it gives out your shadows. So
I don't. Does the bloodthirster give shadow now, or is it just the leadership thing?
isn't it all greater demons, or what does it say?
Demonic terror now applies to the big guys. Demonic pact rule. Is that demonic incursion detachment? Yeah, look at that. So they all got the belt core thing. Oh, the VTS 5. Thank you for another 5 gifted subs. Look at that.
VTS. He's on a
whoever's
roll.
in
the chat.
Thank you.
Is the king.
That means a lot
reason.
to us.
We appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And he's going to be happy to hear where his Dark Angels are. So
yes,
he's on a high with that for sure. Thanks, VTS. Appreciate it.
That's great.
A lot more members now. You guys can see the Monday night matchup, which is out right now. It's early for members. It's going to be available on Monday for everybody else. If you didn't see the promos with Anthony, the ultimate Schmolio, he was going on. What were you saying? What were you saying in those promos?
Look,
you're quite crazy in those.
Yes, because what was it? Justin with his Gene Stealer cults were like popping up on a shrine world. I'm playing Sisters of Battle. We can't allow that to happen. That's a shrine world. The Emperor lives there, or so I'm told. So we got to go protect it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, like WWE voice.
So going back to demons, what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, that is going to be good. You're going to see more like greater demons for sure. Or you saw them already, but Bloodthirster is going to be great. Imagine bringing like Scarbrand and then just throwing a Bloodthirster beside them.
Oh wow,
And
double demon.
nice, right? And then they can just spawn in a bunch of Bloodletters, and you're gonna have fun with that. The combo still works with the what is it called? The Blood Throne?
Renmaster?
Or no, the Renmaster. So the doggos are still good. You can get a lot of mortals on the charge, and you get a bunch of attacks stacked to your blood letters. You can do things like that still. They're not going to be top. They're not going to be middle. I think they're going to be like top of, let's say, top of no, let's say bottom of B.
Bottom of B.
Yeah.
And VTS, there's no poll for this one. For who is tops, since what's it called? Polls are usually a 4-image thing, and there's 27 playable factions. That's a little.
Yeah. Well, you can do it. You can do it for the next. You could do it for like, what do you think of this next one we're ranking? Like, if you want.
Yeah. I could get it posted ahead of time, since this one was a little surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Members will be able to put their 2 cents in.
Speak of the devil.
All right,
Dark Angels. They're up next.
Hey, where do you think they go, Anthony?
Lion can go through walls now. Their Vow got buffed, but from what I'm
Lion's
told,
not even the biggest deal.
They're going to be great in Gladius, since they got a lot of buffs.
Yeah, imagine advancing and charging. Imagine disengaging and then charging.
Deathwing Knights got buffed.
I liked it. Yep, Deathwing Knights are good again. VTS actually did something really fun yesterday. I liked it a lot, actually. He played Vanguard, so -1 to hit outside of 12, basically Justin's Raven Guard detachment. It made those Terminators unsufferable. Like, I don't think I'm gonna. I couldn't get rid of 2 of them. Literally, I could not focus on 2 of them. I had to put 2 Blood Angel units. Sorry, I'm thinking between Death Guard, Death Wing, and Death Company right now in my head.
What about,
so Death Company
Raven
units.
Wing?
Pardon me?
What about Raven Wing? I'm
Raven
just
Wing?
throwing in all the wings in death.
Oh yeah. No, my Death Company went into his Terminators there, and they just like ate so much damage because -1 damage. Your Power Fist turned into basically, really strong
Punches.
chainswords. Yeah. So the -1 damage is really good. And it just negates all that, and yeah, they're really tough. It was fun to see that in the shooting phase, because like, you can't shoot at them. There's no point of shooting at them. -1 to hit, -1 damage. I did pop a few of them, but it was nice. They are -1 to wound. Yes, -1. That's what I mean when I say damage. I meant wound. So -1 to wound, and then -1 to hit is a lot on those big guys.
And am I reading the Mace of Absolution right? It got anti-monster and anti-vehicle 4+.
And anti-vehicle, yeah, exactly. And then the power weapon gives you an extra attack, which is,
and it's whatever, 2 damage now as well.
The anti-monster.
Deathwing Knights they got a glow up.
It's an extra damage. It's an extra AP too.
Yeah.
It's not extra damage, is it?
So damage. The only difference between the mace and power weapon is the power weapon has 1 more attack, and the mace has anti-monster and vehicle 4+.
Yes, which you're gonna obviously take the anti-monster, anti-vehicle, right? Because
probably
that hurts. Yeah.
It's like, do you need an extra 5 attacks on your already? What would it be? 20 attacks?
No, because then you gain versatility with them, because now you can throw them into
vehicles.
Into, you can go and fight a demon prince. You can go and fight whatever you want, really, because
Mortarion.
I don't know about Mortarion. If you have a 10-man blob, yeah, absolutely.
I'm just thinking toughness 12 stuff.
Toughness, anything, exactly. You're wounding on 4s, so it doesn't really matter, right? It's only strength 6. But when you're wounding on 4s, you can go fight a demon prince. You can go fight a big, greater demon or whatever you're gonna go into, or you can go and attack a big tank that's toughness 12, like a Dorn or whatever. You can still spank it on a 4-up and do 2 damage a pop. That's pretty good.
It's
All they're missing is a tank shock ability. If they give them the Bully Boys tank shock ability, that would be amazing. I think they should get something like that, because I always have this discussion with Kevin. If you don't know who Kevin is, you should know him by now. He paints all our meme stuff on the channel. He just painted John Cena. He said these guys should be the best. It's lore wise, they are the ultimate Terminators. There should be nobody better than these Terminators. They should hit the hardest. They should be the best, and I agree with that. So
I do
give
think
them
they're
a
the best
nice
Terminators
strat.
in the game now.
They might be, actually, yeah.
Like what would the next closest be? The Custodes Terminators? Or
Custodians. We're not counting Custodians. I meant
No?
for like Space Marines.
I
Custodians are
think these are still better than the
stupid
Custodians
in
ones.
combat. I don't know about that.
They're tankier, and they're almost as good against vehicles and monsters as them.
Aren't
And I think it's roughly the same attacks and AP.
Aren't Alar's Custodians
They're toughness 7.
Terminators? Aren't they T6?
T7
Oh yeah, they're walking
tanks,
like bricks.
but they don't get as many bodies.
They don't. No. If you take a big brick of knights, like 10, which I don't know if people are going to do that, but if you did, it would be a very daunting task to get rid of all that. You're going to have to put a lot into them. And the big thing is you're not going to be able to do those, spam units like I can think of 2 off the bat people are scared of right now are knobs with a war boss going in there everybody doing 2 damage, AP -2, hitting on 3s, re-rolling a bunch of stuff. It's not going to matter against these guys. They're taking 1 damage, and they're very tanky. They have a 4-up invuln. They're going to be fine. They're going to be okay, and they're 2-up save, right? So when you shoot at them, they're going to be getting cover. They're going to be absolutely fine. So a big brick of 10 knights, you might see them at tournaments. I'm not going to lie. But anyways, let's just save all the rest of the stuff. Another thing, VTS brought them yesterday if you want to check out the game, but the Inner Circle companions they're great.
They got buffed as well.
They're really good. They are. A unit of them would be fun to test out for sure. And taking them with he took them with a Judicar assassin. What is he called? The Executioner.
The Judicator.
Yeah,
the guy with the big sword.
So basically, fights first. They get fights first, and then you have some precision abilities, so you can take out a character or do some damage. But the fights first on them is great, and then they have an ability where they get +1 to wound if they're with a character unit, and then they basically get +1 to hit if they're attacking. Check the stats. It's either vice versa or the way I'm saying it. So is it +1 to hit when they're with a character unit?
Oh,
when they're with a character.
The stat of the Judicar or the Inner Circle?
No. Of the Inner Circle companions.
No, I only have their updated greatsword weapon here.
So they're either +1 to hit when they're with a character, and then they're +1 to wound if they're attacking a unit with a character. So you can basically make them +1/+1, and then fights first. So it's really good.
What are they called? I remember when the Dark Angels Codex first came out, we looked at the Inner Circle companions, and we're like, wow, this is useless, and never looked at them again.
No, they're good.
It was awful before.
Like
now this is nuts.
Yeah, you got to make them like. This is what I was expecting when their codex came out, so they deserve this. Like, they deserve to be this good. I'm not going to waste any more time. They're S tier, man.
S tier?
They're good. Gladius attachment with these guys is going to be a nightmare for people to deal with, because advancing charging lion through a wall, you can't stop that, and then he can disengage and go and slap somebody else. He's way.
He's a 3-up invuln.
Give me away. I'm going to run the other direction.
But I mean, he's a 3-up invuln, right?
He has a 3-up invuln.
Anti-tank is not going to be great into him, and if you want to use devastating wounds into him,
he's low op. He's not going to shoot him,
so you can't shoot him.
Well, you can't.
So if you try to punch him and you get dev wounds, he could get a Feel No Pain against mortals in melee.
Yeah.
So you can't even get past that shield.
And back to VTS 5, you made a great play yesterday, and you do your 6-inch heroic intervention with him, and all of a sudden you make a little bubble around your units, and if anybody gets in range of a charge, Mr. Lion comes in and spanks them around a little bit. He bullied my can you believe it? He just sliced through 5 what's they called, scouts, just for coming close to them.
Scouts.
Rude.
They didn't stand a chance.
And another good combo with that as well. He had what's it called? A combi lieutenant there to vect people's abilities. So he vected.
Oh, and to reroll roll wounds on an objective.
It's really good. It's it's not just reroll wounds, but you can vect other things too, like fight on death.
Yeah,
So
because that gets the fight on death or your Blood Angels was too good.
well, when you make it 3 CP, I'm not going to do it because I can't do it. I don't have the CP to do it. So
you had it good for too long. You had to suffer.
It's a good combo. It's still good. You just against Dark Angels, it's not going to happen in the proper situations, or against units that they're not going to want to do it against. But yeah, they're going to be really good. Dark Angels are going to be a nightmare to deal with early on.
I need to practice against them.
Yeah, and it's not the Dark Angels list I was winning with. This is worse. This is not shooting. This
more
is the
like
opposite.
worse as in more annoying to fight.
This is gonna be a lot more dominant, I think, early on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty obvious how good they're gonna do here.
Maybe once people start figuring things out, it might not be. But for now, that it's really good. Before people learn how to deal with it.
It'll change. It'll swing the meta if GW doesn't get their nerf hammer out. It'll swing the meta slightly in a different direction. But it's going to be them and another army we'll talk about pretty soon. It's probably coming up soon. Drukhari is next, though. Mr. Scari's army. Let's get Scary on the line. See what he thinks.
Yeah. I don't know. I looked at what they did. They got their power through pain buffed, I believe. Or was that before? So GW actually marks with a plus sign when a change is new in the data slate, which is very convenient now. They got Drukhari. That is not new. So I don't think they really got changed. What about points?
Again, this is like we're shooting in the dark here because we don't have stats.
Grotesques went down, Ravagers went down. They didn't really change that much.
Points went down, right?
On 2 units. And on Scourges, 5 mans went up and 10 mans went down. Wait, what? So you know how usually 10 mans are double the cost of 5 mans?
Yes.
Scourges are now 5 for 120 and 10 for 180.
My God, Scourges. Sure.
That's okay. I do like at least they're balancing it differently now instead of just double the cost.
Kevin's listening. He's like, surround line with the inner circle and maybe some Deathwing and just JoJo walking into everything. Yeah, exactly.
Do the power pose.
That's pretty much what you do.
Or he's doing like a here's Johnny through the wall.
So Scourge went up in points, right?
5 man went up, 10 man went down.
Oh, they're doing that with them.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, where it's not just double the cost for doubling the unit size now.
Yeah, because they're tempting you to like sink more points into them. They are good, so people are going to be like, I might as well take a few more, but then it's going to cut out in other parts of your army.
But then honestly, it's more models, bigger footprints, harder to maneuver.
Yeah.
More cost.
There's only one person to watch, honestly.
Oh, that's why you don't take the 10 man. I understand now.
What does it do?
So you get the 4 heavy weapons in a 5 man or 10 man. So no matter what, you only get 4 heavy weapons. So there's no point taking the 10 outside of extra bodies. So that's why 5 went up.
Death Corpse is here. What's up? And Evan. And he said, here's L. Johnny.
Yeah, because he posted my meme of Johnson going through the wall.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to be Silence of the Lambs. Not Silence of the Lambs. What's that movie called?
The Shining.
Red Room. The Shining.
I liked it. It was funny. But Dark Elder, honestly, this one's going to be a complete guess from me if I pick anything.
Jack Nicholson? Jack Nicholson. Yeah, it's Jack Nicholson.
If I go off of how Scary plays, they'd be great. If I go off of how often I see them, suffering.
I was just going to say, if people want to, if you do play Drukhari, I think people already know Scary is. So he's probably going to dictate early meta for them because he's one of the best players for Drukhari in the world. So
I can go get a new shirt.
If you just watch what he does, that's probably what the meta list is going to be early on. So I don't really know what they're going to be doing now with the Scourge changes. I still think you're going to see a few of them because they're good, right? Like they're going to blow up a few tanks early and
The
be
Dark
annoying,
Lances.
get back into cover. Yeah. And they can shoot and move. They can shoot, move, shoot, move.
Broken if
They
you're
just go back
Scary,
in
otherwise
cover.
it's suffering. Can I add like a second picture that's just Scari's face on top of it?
Scary makes, but we were having this conversation with VTS yesterday at dinner, and he's like, you were saying how when I was playing Dark Angels when they were broken, I wasn't playing the actual broken Dark Angels list. I was playing off meta, and I was still winning with bike spam. And people were like, "Oh, you're playing Dark Angels," and then they just see a bunch of plasma bikes, and they're like, "Wait a second." But it's still like you can still play different ways if you know how to play your army. If you know your army inside out, it's not going to matter. If you're really good at piloting your army, it gives you that little advantage. We're only talking about, the ladder here, and I think Drukhari will be just fine, in my opinion.
I think
Not to
they're
go on any
gonna be
longer with
fine.
this.
Now the
What do you
question is,
think?
are they gonna be better than AdMech or worse?
Is AdMech, have they become the measuring stick? What's going on here?
They become my measuring stick because I talk to Justin so much. Where
Justin
it's like, well, how do they
loves
compare
AdMech,
to infiltrators?
I think they're going to be like
All right, how about
slightly suffering,
slightly
if
suffering?
that makes sense. They'll be like, here. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to watch Scary early on in the meta, and that's what I'm guessing is going to be where they are. So if Scary's placing, top at tournaments still, they're going to be just fine. Where I think regular Drukhari players are going to be, they're going to be like top of suffering. You're going to still be able to win with them. You're not going to be able to beat.
So higher place
top
than
armies.
Custodes?
Yes, I think they'll be at the top of that.
AdMech is too high. They need to suffer. Well, with your breachers
is
getting
too
so
high.
expensive and being so squishy, who knows? The people that were spamming breachers might suffer. Right. Trolley's right. Drukhari got really buffed with the pivot changes
Yes, that's true.
because they're on circle bases, so they could
They're
pivot
all
for
circle
free.
bases.
And when you pivot, you
They
can
could
just
just
go in a
spin.
straight line.
Spin.
Everyone's seen
No,
that
you
gif of the Doomsday Ark spinning through buildings in a small spot.
upside down. Do what you want. I think they're just above. They're right beside. It's that they're in the same spot for me. Honestly, they can go either way for me.
That's kind of a gimmick. I don't think pivot's gonna last.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm
Oh.
talking about Custodes. Custodes and Drukhari are like just above Custodes. I think they can both go in either direction. Those two armies. We'll see how the meta changes. Be that guy and prove everybody wrong.
Be that guy. Exactly. Next up, we have Death Guard.
They're gonna be decent.
Yeah. Let's see. Did they
Terminator armies are good. Like, I think you're gonna see Mortarian's gonna be good still. I still think you're gonna see what's it called got nerfed, right?
change? Indirect got nerfed,
The grenade stuff.
and your biologist got nerfed.
Yes, so that stuff's gone, but it wasn't the reason they were amazing. It was good. It was kind of broken, but it wasn't the reason why Death Guard were really good. Mortarian is still Morty, and he's still a pickle.
He's still a pickle.
He's
Oh
still
wow,
a
the
pickle.
foul
I think
light spawn got it more expensive.
he did, yeah. I'm just trying to think what I would do with them now. Would I go back to my Terminator spam just to compete with
They got
Dark
cheaper.
Angels? They did. I think
But-
I would probably spam a bunch of Terminators.
What do you think of the
Again.
Plague Burst now?
Well, indirect is garbage now.
Well, now you're hitting on fours,
Yeah, I know.
so
And Morty
that's one
can't
worse
help you
than
there.
before. Oh yeah, Morty can't ignore it.
You can't ignore that. So I don't think indirect's going to be as good. Because before, what you would do is you bring in your what's his name, the what's the big fat guy that has the spewer?
Not blight spawn, not the purifier.
No, he's the big guy.
Big.
Don't make me look him up.
Tallyman, no.
Anyways, while you look him up, he tags a unit, and everything shooting at it gets +1. So then your plague burst crawlers get +1. Plus Morty was around them, giving him his aura. So now he negates the -1 for indirect, and all of a sudden your plague burst crawlers were hitting on 2s, and wounding units in the backfield that are squishy on 2s most of the time. AP minus whatever, 1 or 2. I think it was -2 on the or it's -2 on the plague mortar. So it was a lot better back then. I don't think it's going to be as good now, and you're not going to see as many of them. But I think you're going to see a lot of Terminators, and I think you're going to see the Scythe boys coming back.
So, the not Death Guard.
Death Shroud.
Death Shroud. Yes, that's the name.
You're gonna
Was
see
the
a
guy
lot
you were
more
thinking
Death
of the
Shroud.
Lord of Virulence?
Yeah, the Virulence, Lord of Virulence, Lord Virulence. You're going to see the list I'm thinking to play with them is going to be Blight Lords. I'm just going to Terminator spam it again because I'm thinking top meta armies and go tanky for tanky. And give Lion a lot to chew through.
Corn, I already played my vehicles backwards because for some reason whenever I grab them, I put them down backwards. So I guess I'm already protesting pivot.
Who, you?
Apparently.
You put your vehicles backwards?
When I pick them up, the way I grab them, it's easier to grab them that way. Then I put them down and they're backwards. Even the models. I don't know why that happens.
What do you think about the changes for Death Guard?
What do I think? I know they're really annoying when I fight you, but I don't know. Losing grenades does hurt. That was used a lot, or in like a lot of grenades.
I still think they'll be good. They'll be.
Did they change that much?
I have them like definitely ahead of Chaos Space Marines.
Yes, I think they'll be fine. They're.
Where did I put Chaos again?
Doing fine.
I think they'll be ahead of. Just put them ahead of Chaos.
So
for now,
yeah. To me, it's just they're not. Nothing really notable happened to Death Guard to me, for me to think they really changed that much.
I think you know what. Put them. I think they're going to be pretty good.
Amazing.
Where'd you put them right now?
I put them at the top of doing fine.
This is difficult. I don't like. It's hard to say, right? It's still early. You know what?
I just don't think they changed enough.
Put them after Black Templar.
Okay. And amazing.
I think they'll be They're good. They're going to be good. I don't remember. This is going to get skewed as we start adding more armies. They're going to get people in between them, but as of now, they're right there. That's what I think. But this is early.
And then next up we have
going to change.
Death Watch.
Kevin's army.
There's. It's kind of weird. We have all the suffering armies first.
The rumor we heard is Death Watch is going to get combined with
Grey Knights and Inquisition.
Not Grey Knights.
Yeah, I heard that too.
All together?
Grey Knights, Death Watch, and Agents of the Imperium all are apparently going to get merged together.
That would be very good. Honestly, that would be a lot of utility.
But from what I also heard, they're going to have to be in their own detachment.
Okay.
So it's just they're putting them in the same book, but still kind of separate. That's the rumor I heard.
Wanted me to tell you what I think of them straight out? I think everybody knows where they go.
I'm considering good grief, but no. I know they're not that.
No,
they're still Space Marines.
Just put them above Agents.
Above Agent, yeah. And they get to join them soon.
Sorry, Kevin.
It's Death Watch.
They need a codex. They
need a codex, and even then, they're Space Marines with a weird gimmick that kind of makes them really hard to pilot for not a lot of gain. Just due to how the game works.
They were good. They're
like
just
a month.
If they get back their, not even for just the fluff, but like if they get back their, what I really liked about them was the special ammunition actually being kind of working like, how does it work now? It doesn't work like doctrines.
It's a stratagem.
It's a strat now, right?
There's like 2 or 3 ammo strats.
I think it would be better as a doctrine, honestly. Like just switching into a doctrine that you want to use.
I know they have a doctrine to like do good against a certain type of target.
Because then it would work. It would basically function like a WA. Like you can be if you're playing against demons. You're playing against demons and you have you have bullets that are anti-demon 3+. Let's say I'm just being hypothetical here. You can only do it for 1 turn. So you're gonna murk a bunch of demons in 1 turn, and then you got to go to like a different type of ammunition. That could be fun to do. I'm just spitballing here, but if they get something like that into the army, then they'll have a little more flavor for what they can do. Otherwise, why would you use them? Like, there's way better Space Marine armies to use, in my opinion. But
So they get mission tactics, and then
They get
special
tactics,
ammo
okay.
is a stratagem. So mission tactics are kind of what you're saying for the
they're
ammo.
kind of like the sagas. Are they kind of like the Wolf sagas?
It's
'Cause I don't play
you pick
Death Watch
they're
at
kind of
all.
like the Gladius stuff. You
Oh,
pick a
okay.
tactic and you get certain buffs in that category.
Just basically off that. So you
Like-
get to do certain kind of ammunitions and
This one
different,
is while this mission tactic is active, the Furo tactics weapons you have sustained hits 1.
I'm looking at their upgrades here. It's like, yeah.
And then the stratagems are
How do
just
they-
ammo and stuff.
They're kind of expensive too. Like,
They're expensive. I want kill teams to be better because I like the idea. You have a group of different kind of models in a unit who are all specialized to a kind of a
Yeah.
job. But due to how
No,
the
I
game
think
works
they're-
right now, it makes them a jack of all trades, don't do anything.
they're definitely down there.
Because
For
now you
sure,
have a
just so you
Terminator,
know.
a bike, and a normal intercessor or a normal Marine in a squad. What is that going to do for you when you can just have a bike squad to do their job or a Terminator squad to do their job?
Yeah. Justin sent me a message saying, I heard you guys talking about breachers. Breachers are strong, but they're too expensive and squishy for points.
Yeah.
And they're pure glass cannons. I agree with that. So yeah, he doesn't like. That's why he doesn't like breachers. He's just trying to put his 2 cents in.
So I think they got a little weaker than before. Yeah, veteran
think
kill
so.
teams are 360 points for 10 models.
No, hell no.
Like
No.
that's the thing. They're too
bottom.
gimmicky.
That's like, you take inner circle for that.
Anyway, do you want to go to the next unit or army?
Yeah, put them at the bottom there.
They're
kind of-
there. Eldar.
Oh no, not the guys that keep getting nerfed.
What is this? Number 6 or number 7?
6. See what this week maybe.
The 6th one this week. Okay.
6. They got 6 like in the first week of nerfs.
And
Believe
yet
it
they're
or
still
not,
good.
They're still decent. You know why they're still good?
They have really good data
Movement.
sheets.
Yeah, and not just that. The movement's going to be movement shenanigans are going to be really good in Pariah. So Eldar are very quick. Speed kills in this edition. And in 9th as well, but
one of your stratagems is to move, right?
a couple of them
Like during your movement phase, can you move again?
for
Eldar.
Eldar.
Without shooting.
Yeah, you have Phantasm, and you have the other one, which is what's it called? Blanking right now.
Is Phantasm the shoot and move one?
Phantasm is when a unit comes within range, you can just roll and move. What's it called? Fire and Fade. Is
Fire
the
and
other
Fade,
one.
okay.
So you can shoot and then jump away.
Then I'm actually
And
thinking
Warp
1,000
Spiders?
Suns.
Remember Warp Spiders?
Warp Spiders. God.
24-inch blink.
That doesn't work too much anymore.
Why?
If you want to do an action with them, that's an advance, right?
Oh no! Does it count as an advance?
I thought it says instead of advancing, you do this.
It doesn't say it. It doesn't say it's an advance though.
I will
Does
go.
it?
Ooh, I accidentally opened it up. I opened up Warhammer
Chat.
Community there.
Let us know. Does that count as advancing?
I'm just going to go read the rule.
What does it say?
1 second. I'm glad there's
Does it
still an
say
index.
instead of advancing, you can do this, or it counts as advancing? Okay, if it counts as advancing, then yeah, you can't do that.
In your movement phase, when this unit makes a normal move, it can flicker jump. If it does until the end of the phase, oh, and it doesn't even mention advancing at all.
What does it say?
When you make a normal move, you can make a flicker jump.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's a normal move.
Wow. Okay, that's still very
Exactly.
good, especially with the new actions.
Yeah. Where does it say you can't advance or it counts as advancing?
Because I think in 9th edition, it was instead of advancing, do a flicker jump.
yeah,
like,
no.
Here, it doesn't mention it at all.
No, you just well, you can't advance after that because you're flickering, so you're not moving. You're choosing to do that instead of your regular move.
Can you not advance?
They move.
Because you're
You
making
can
a normal
advance them.
move. No, okay, I got it.
No,
I
that's
understand.
the flicker jump is the move. Like that's it. Instead of you doing your movement, that's your normal move. It's moving 24 inches.
Okay.
and then they move 24 inches. Like, you could do so much with those guys. Like, oh my god.
Oh, look, you draw containment from the middle of the board. You can get any corner.
They're gonna be really good. I don't think you're gonna see them as much as being like, you know how I used to use them, like shoot, jump, like what's it called, fire and fade, and try to put them in positions where I could, throw in some dev wounds into units I want to. You're gonna see less of that. You're gonna see them being more sneaky, maybe taking out a unit that you really need to, but not putting them in harm's way, using them to do these objectives. And one thing that I think was well deserved, but they have been nerfed twice in a row now, are swooping hawks. And well deserved, because they're uppy downy, and they're very annoying, and they can do a million actions for you.
They're very good.
But I'm gonna run 3 and 3 of both the units because utility, and then just do whatever you want.
A lot of action monkeys in the game have gone nerfed.
Yes, because
it wasn't fun.
That's if it's too easy, right?
Because it was just, I go up, I go down, and I do an action for like 30 points.
I was playing with some of the guys from GW there, and I brought Swooping Hawks, and they're like, bro, it was a 1,000-point game. They were just playing small games, and they're all bringing Avatar. The Avatar of Kane was on the table, and all these guys, and like, I brought Swooping Hawks, and they're like, oh, you're bringing broken units. I'm like, what? Like, you're playing an Avatar in a 1,000-point game, and I'm bringing Swooping Hawks, and I'm playing the broken unit. Like, I was just laughing, but that's just like, that's where it's gone. It's like,
everybody's just thinking about meta this, meta that.
No, but in a casual game, like, it's not so much the killing factor that's broken. It's like not being able to stop deep strike or up and down E. All that stuff is more broken in my
objective
opinion.
Focus game.
Exactly, that's what it's become.
How do you think they're going to do in Pariah Nexus?
Where do you Eldar? I think they'll be just fine.
I don't know. They might be amazing still.
Amazing? I don't know about amazing, but
they
when you
still
say
do
amazing,
really well in the tournament scenes.
I think they're
it's your army, so you get more weight.
They're A tier. They're A tier.
Yeah.
When I mean just fine, I mean like not
okay.
your
You don't mean the
I mean
doing fine tier. Okay.
They're going to be who do I have in A tier right now?
Black Templars and Death Guard.
They're ahead of Death Guard for sure, and I don't think they're ahead of Templars. They might be ahead of Templars.
Really? I think Black Templars can do better than them now.
I think so too. It's going to come down to the player. If it's like, if you're playing Tim, maybe.
I don't know. Eldar got a lot of nerfs, and Black Templar get a lot of good bodies and action monkeys.
They're very close. Trust me. Those two armies are going to be very like similar in the meta. Put them under. Definitely put them under there for now. We'll have more to prove for that, I guess. Eldar players are going to have to work to say they're better than Templar. I do think Templar are going to have a bit easier time.
Maybe I think
just
so.
Tankier. They're tankier. And you can hold objectives, do some like terraforming. The good stuff. So yeah, just put them under there. I still think they're A tier. Look at Eldar, all these nerfs, and they're still like they're the real John Cena. They're just going like this all day.
Oh, everybody sees them. Just no one can deal with them.
They see us. They were just like this. You want to nerf the Yinkar? No problem. We'll just bring 40 Swooping Hawks now.
That gets hit. Falcons.
Indirect fire. Like Eldar are changing the game.
Indirect get nerfed. Fate dice.
Fate dice. Yeah, fate. Like okay. Our fate dice are broken, but sisters can freaking roll like 65 dice in one turn.
You only get 6 of them now. That's not broken. That's nothing to complain about. We didn't even mention fate dice till now.
Sisters have other things that are ridiculous, so everything for them is good right now, that's fine.
Sisters got a massive points increase though. Like it was massive. Deserved.
Yeah, you made a list. Anthony made a list, and then we were gonna record a battle report, and then they're like, "Oh, we saw the updates," and he's like, "Yeah, my list is 400 points over."
No, it was the day before the list. It was around 1960 points, around there, and then the day we waited an extra day, and then the data slate dropped. And I looked at my list, and it became 2,480. I'm like, wow, that was... Woo! I haven't had that happen since Tau.
Oh, my God. All right. Is it on to Grey Knights?
It is on to Grey Knights.
My boys. we said this early on. Like we knew with there was a few changes already in the secondaries, but we knew that they're going to be really good in this edition because secondaries, and there's more secondaries. There's more things you can do.
More action
Grey
secondaries.
Knights, yes, Grey Knights are really good at getting all over the place. They can just move wherever they want. So secondaries are going to be automatic for them. Primary game is going to be pretty good because they do have tanky Terminators, and they do have the Paladins that are tanky as well. Terminators can bring back one every turn. That's going to get annoying. You can sit in objectives. You can terraform. You can do all the extra stuff for primary VP. Your secondaries are automatic. I mean, in my mind, it's like, how are you not A tier? Just because your scoring is going to be really easy. They don't hit hard. They hit. I told you,
I think they can hit pretty
playing
hard.
them. It's whatever.
Actually, they did lose tank shocking, so
yeah. Listen, the Knights actually got better.
they got better, but you can't do like 6 mortals on a charge with them anymore.
No, that sucks. Yeah, that did go down because now it's toughness, right?
I do find Grey Knights pretty killy, especially with that librarian. But movement is king, and holy shit, can they move?
120 points.
120 points to maybe do 12 mortals, on a rare chance.
Or do 6 mortals to your own unit, like I did twice in a game.
You get to feel no pain against those. I think you forgot that.
He is the real casino cannon.
Yeah, on a 1 in 6, he hurts himself, and every other time he does insane damage.
Well, it's D6, and then if you get a 6, it'd be 2D6, which hurts. But yeah, is it 2D6 or D6?
On a 6, it's 2d6. Otherwise, it's d6 damage.
So you just have 2 Magnuses walking around.
Most other people is d3 and then d3 plus 3. Yours is d6 or 2d6, which is the swing.
Some are D6. I have them at. I don't think they're S tier because for what I just said, I don't think they hit as hard as the armies that are above them, that we have tiered out for them. But I do think they're like top of A tier, and they could easily move up. I'm just guessing early on here.
They have better movement than Black Templars, so.
Yeah, I think they're going to be around
2D3?
where.
Right, 2d3. Is that for the Grey Knights?
What?
I'm just gonna search up the librarian real quick because I thought it was 2d6.
His smite?
Yes.
I believe it's D6 to yourself if you roll a 1, D6 if you roll. Sorry. Isn't it 2D3 and then D6 plus 3? I don't even remember.
Oh, on a 2 to 5, it's 2d3. That's even honestly, that's better than a d6.
Oh yeah, because it's minimum 4. But is it what on a 6?
2d6.
Okay, so it's 2d3, so which is better than a d6, honestly.
It's not 3d3. I'm looking here. Yeah, 2d3 and 2d6. That is, I don't know. I really like this guy. I'm glad he's 120 points.
Yeah, I'm saying 2d3 is better than a d6.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll take that.
But movement is king, and they have it in spades.
And they have fly.
And they have
when
fly.
They advance.
And they deep strike.
And their knights advance in charge.
I think they have a stratagem to teleport again as well.
They do, and they have a bunch of stuff where like they just do John Cena, like you can't see me, and they disappear, and then they pop around somewhere else. You can do that multiple times. You have a strat to do that. You have a enhancement to do it. You have Drago there that can come in and give you +3 to your.
Oh, Drago doing a +3 to the charge from deep strike.
Yes, come in from deep strike. You do that. You also have the ability to alpha strike. You can bring a unit in and come in on the first turn.
If you go second.
Pardon me?
If you go second, right?
Why?
Because you do it at the end of your opponent's turn. So you go up on their turn, and on your turn you come down.
Is that how it's worded?
Yes. So you at the end of your opponent's turn, it's like with Gaunt's Ghost. I use them so that if I go second, they deep strike on turn 1.
You're tricking me.
Am I? I can just open up the thing again.
Let me just. You read that? Is it enhancement?
Oh, the enhancement. I thought you were talking about the detachment ability.
No, the enhancement.
The enhancement
There's
is
no. There's an enhancement where you can one unit can character can take the ability to come down in the first turn. Don't trick me.
first to the fray.
Yeah. So one unit of Terminators basically can or Paladins can deep strike in the first turn and try to make a charge. Unfortunately, you can't put that on a character unit. Otherwise, on a named character. Otherwise, of course, you're going to put that on the guy that gets
Drago.
+3 to deep strike.
All right, good thing you
That
can
would be
put
really
two
good.
characters in the same squad.
What is that? What's a 6-inch charge? What's the odds on that? Like 60%?
I actually have a chart for this. Whoops. I cannot check it out. Actually, I just realized.
It's or 50%. It's a 50% charge.
7 would be around 53%, so it's probably closer to 60 to 68.
For a 6-inch charge?
Give me a second. I have a chart because I know 3% is for 2s or 6s.
Well,
12.
isn't 6 half of 12, so it'd be 50? Isn't that how it works?
No, the average you roll on 2d6 is 7.
Oh, true.
Because it's 3.5 and 3.5.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's slightly higher. Yeah.
I think it's 60 to 68.
That would be funny. Let's not break the game like that, though. Force GW to put enhancements on characters. Come on. On named characters.
A 6-inch charge is a 58% chance.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
No,
still
wait,
good.
no, 72%. That is a 72%.
Wait, 72?
Yeah, 3 inches 97, 4 inches 92, 5 is 83, 6 is 72.
Okay, so imagine a 72% chance of an alpha strike every turn.
I have the
Every
math,
every beginning of the game.
receipts.
They'll be good. So I think where they are is good. What's next?
Next up is that's Gene Stealer Cult.
Oh no, they got hit. 4 Gene Stealers.
Look, Aberrants. I don't know what. I know they were annoying, but oh my god. So Gene Stealer Cults had an ability or Primus or enhancement thing where they can redeploy after they see who goes first, right?
Yes.
One idea was to have Aberrants, who are 4+ feel no pain, 3 wound, toughness 6 model with really good melee weapons. I'm going to deploy on your line, like infiltrate on your line.
On your lawn. I thought you
On
said
your
on
lawn.
your lawn.
Basically.
Get off my lawn.
Oh, I'm going second. They're going back to safety. It was very annoying, and they were pretty tanky and killy. That's gone. All the it's now before you figure out who goes first, like most of the other ones in the game. And Aberrants went from their tail having an extra attack, having the power hammer, and then the improvised weapon. So 3 different melee data sheets, right? Or profiles. They now only have 1. They only get 1 weapon.
It's a stronger weapon.
No, it's not.
It's not stronger
No,
than their last one?
No, it's not. I think it's 6/2/2 and like 3 or 4 attacks each. I'd have to check, but it's weaker. Like Aberrants are now 5 feel no pain.
They can still reinforce.
They actually nerfed
Not
the
like your
reinforcing as well.
What happened with that? Because I'm honestly not up with that.
Remember how it was on Battle Round 1 and 2 you get +1, and Battle 1 get another +1?
So yeah, you're coming back on a 3?
It is now always a 4-up on the first 2 rounds and always a 5-up on 3 and after. They got rid of the +1 for Battle Line.
It's not the end of the world, but that is a big nerf for early on, for sure.
Really sucks. Especially if you get unlucky. You could go on a dry streak with that. And then, remember when it was automatic for Battle Line?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Now it's a 4+, 5+.
Don't bring that back. That was the thing.
I think somewhere they had a reinforcement strat, and all reinforcement strats in the game have been nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only once per game if you have a reinforcement strat. The only detachment that could take from guard is Brute Brothers, and they could take up to 1,000 points. But no one else can, so there's no more 3 Vanquishers or whatever else you did on your detachment.
Yeah.
Or demo charges got worse. They went down a strength and went from 2d6 shots to 1d6.
Yeah, it's bad.
But at least they clarified if you respawn, you come back with your one-shot weapons.
Oh, okay.
They did clarify that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of they did nerf it that you can't throw demo charges out of a transport and then get it back when you come out.
Yes, which is fair.
Either way, I could just keep going on about what got hit in Gene Stealers, and I can't really go on what got better.
So Rock Riders
Also got nerfed.
Are toughness to T10.
They are T10 because they have the shield. They no longer do mortals on a charge.
They don't do mortals on the charge, which is a big one. And then they also their strength what? On the
Is it 712? I almost opened that up on the wrong tab again. I'll check. I left the book at the studio, so I'm having some trouble remembering.
I can look it up here. I'm just in the app right now.
Their melee is still good. It's like what, 712, I think, or 722.
They'll be able to do some stuff with their grinding up,
sustained hits.
Infantry.
Their melee's still good. It's just
I'm
now.
talking about. I was thinking about tank shock. That's why. Did they have a lot of strength compared to their toughness? But I'm guessing.
Oh, it might be strength 10. I think tank shock is technically worse for them now.
Is it? Because their toughness 10.
I think the weapon was strength 10 before, which means you could have got +2.
+2, so they lose 2 dice.
They lose the +2, and they don't do mortals on the charge anymore.
That's big, yeah.
Yeah. So you went from doing like, I don't know, like 8 mortals to closer to like 3,
closer
2 or
to
3.
A good average. I think they're going to be. I think it's going to affect because Gene Stealers are very dependent on all that, especially coming back and spamming a bunch of units.
Rock Grinders were toughness 10, and they were strength 10. Yeah.
So yeah, they would have had 12 dice instead of 10. So they're losing 2 dice on their tank shock. They lost charging with mortals. So yeah, it's a little nerf to them. And then the other nerfs are bigger in my opinion. The
Primus nerf was big. The Aberrant nerf was big. The demo charge nerf was big. The detachment rule or the faction ability nerf was big. I could keep going on.
Them. Where do you think they go?
I don't know if they're gonna. Let me just check the points changes real quick because that's gonna decide it for me if they're suffering or potentially fine.
You put a poll up?
I did not put a poll up. I'm just checking the points.
Oh, the points. I thought you said poll.
No. That is a lot of red.
They got they went up.
Icon Mortar went up. Jackals went up. The Biophagus went up. The Clamavis went up.
Yep.
Most of the characters went up.
You want to say that they're just better than Deathwatch slightly?
I think they're better than Knights. But Custodes got a glow up while Gene Stealer Cult got hit.
They got hit hard, yes.
I mean, Acolytes got cheaper at least.
I'd say they're just a little bit better than Deathwatch.
I'd say better than Chaos Knights.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Oh, we're putting way more in suffering than I thought we would. I thought it was gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll have like 3 armies in there.
Yeah. No, I just said there's not gonna be much like that are not good, like bottom, but
they're still playable.
That suffer.
And some of the factions are pretty neat. Like Brood Brothers is very interesting. I call it I really don't want to be playing Gene Stealer Cults detachment. Because it's 1,000 points of guard you can take.
Exactly.
And you can put a token on a tank.
Is that Gene Stealer Cult? Yeah, so just put them ahead of... There we go. Now Anthony can take a deep breath.
Okay.
Collectively calm himself. Collect himself, and now we can go on a rant about guard. Go ahead.
Do you want me to be diplomatic with the changes, or can I
just say
what I think about it?
Say what you actually think. No, you don't. I mean, you don't have to say anything. You can say whatever you want, but
because it's controversial.
Be honest. I want to hear it now. You can't just say that and then not say it. I want to hear the controversial stuff. Let me hear it.
I think the detachment change is a giant downgrade.
Okay, why?
Because before, anything in the army, if it stood still, can get lethal hits against any target. And there's a lot of situations where it even happened against Justin. He charges my Rogel Dorn with Skatari. I'm behind a building, and now my Stubbers do not get lethal hits into him. Nothing else. I can't shoot my blast into combat. I am basically stuck with those things, and I only get lethal hits against vehicles and monsters. Okay. It is nice that I can walk around a corner and get lethal hits, but now I can't set up properly to take advantage of it. Baneblades don't get lethal hits anymore. Tank commanders don't get lethal hits anymore. Rowlings don't get it. Ogrins don't get it. None of the characters get it. Gaunt's Ghost can't get it anymore.
They can't, no.
But I can walk around a corner with a tank, pivot around a corner, and get lethal hits against your tank.
Which one?
What do you mean?
Oh, against the enemy vehicle, you mean?
Yeah, against any enemy vehicle or monster, my squadron vehicles get lethal hits. My regiment units get lethal hits against everything else. Sentinels have both, so Sentinels got a big upgrade because they get lethal hits against everything in the game.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're still Sentinels.
But okay, and then
reinforcements got
reinforcement.
nerfed.
Yeah, reinforcement only once per turn.
That was deserved. That was kind of a toxic playstyle that even I did, where it's just, I'm going to keep deep striking forever and get my points. You can't do anything about it. Suck it up.
Sorry, is it once per game now?
It is once per game.
Oh my god.
Which is deserved.
Once per turn,
that was
once
deserved.
Per turn going to once per game. That's big.
Yes. No, but that was annoying. I'm glad that's gone. I felt bad.
Everybody's glad that's gone. Everybody is glad that is gone.
And indirect, we were on our last legs before, and now we can only hit on force from indirect, which technically doesn't matter for half our vehicles, but we can no longer hit on 2s rerolling 1s with lethal hits. And if you're firing from indirect, you cannot get lethal hits at all. So no indirect lethal hitting like vehicles now.
Okay.
Which honestly deserved. Indirect is another really toxic thing.
I'm happy they're basilisks. They're not going to be spammed out anymore for sure.
I'm super happy. The Manticores, those were. But I'm just super happy that I've CP to spend on other things now. I've been using grenade more. Tank shock is a big improvement for us. The amount of actions and what they were changed to is really good for us. Like containment is great. Engage is great. Deploy, secure assets. We have the bodies to do everything.
You could do secondaries very easily. This is why we're saying secondaries are very. We kind of knock some of them because they're really easy to do. But then if you look at the way GW's done the secondaries, it's like, yeah, how else are you going to do this? Because armies are very, there's vast differences from one army to another. How do you make it fair enough for every army to do? And I think they did a decent job with these secondaries. And there's a lot more variety to them. So if you don't want to go
secondaries
fixed,
are nice. And you know how actions, like you can't advance and do an action? That hit a lot of armies. Guard don't have assault in the army. So that didn't change for us.
Screwed. You're screwed.
The 3 models with assault were 2 you didn't take and the other one teleported.
You know what else I'm going to say about just GW doing a good job with adding all these extra secondaries? How whatever we played, like dozen games that we played of Pariah, it doesn't happen as much anymore. You don't get a card and like, great, I can't do this right now. It's like, it doesn't happen as much anymore. It's like the odds of that happening are now a lot lower. And I like that they did that with the, Jack and how many more cards are in the game now.
Which is pretty funny because they added more ways to redraw cards. New orders can be used all the time. And a lot of the cards where if there's a chance it's impossible to do, redraw.
Exactly.
Which
I like that.
Despite that, scoring is actually lower because they balanced a lot of the cards really well.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want to be in a tournament as well and be like your opponent's like, great, I can't do these missions right now in the 4th turn. It's like it's already a feel bad because what can you do? But there's gonna be a lot less of that.
And they nerfed a lot of the fixed secondaries. Like deploy is 2 in the middle now. Establish locus, recover assets got disappeared. Half of them are still army dependent, like bring it down and assassinate, and call the horde. Mm-hmm. Call the horde as well got immediately changed. If you didn't know,
they did. Yeah.
Call the horde had a exploit where you just took 1 under the max and you couldn't get it anymore. It goes by the cost now.
Yep. Which
good. I just like that most of the fixed are now just army dependent.
It's funny how people cheese that like right away. It's so funny. But where do you got them? That's the bigger thing.
Personally, I'd say doing fine. Other people think amazing because yes, having lethals while moving is very nice in a movement-based game. It's just half the army has half the lethals into half the targets. So if I'm going by community, amazing. If I'm going by me, doing fine.
The community thinks they're going to be amazing.
Because a lot of people really like having lethals all the time into their preferred target. And a lot of the secondary changes didn't hit us that much. Reinforcements, no one's upset about.
Where do you think they go?
Personally, I think I'm doing fine.
Doing fine?
I think they're doing better than AdMech. I don't know if they're doing better than CSM.
I don't think they're better than AdMech.
No, really.
No.
AdMech lost a lot of bodies, so I can chew through what they have better.
I know. They just have... I think they're going to be better. They have more utility.
I don't know, with orders turning off...
The turning off OC stuff for me is going to be big for them. And chickens.
I mean, at least we agree they're in roughly the same area.
Yeah, I don't think they're in D tier. Like or C tier. I think they're like bottom of B.
Bottom of B?
Now. Like bottom of that B is where I think. I don't know where you would want to put them.
I would put them above AdMech. You're putting them below AdMech. So we're in roughly the same spot.
I'm putting them fourth place in B spot.
Oh, you think they're better than demons?
I think demons are better than them, yeah.
Really?
I do.
I mean, where I have them now is kind of the middle ground for us.
Where do you have them?
After demons, before AdMech.
Wait, demons are after AdMech?
Yeah, that's why I thought we had them at.
So you put them in between there?
Yes.
I'm fine with that. I think demons will be slightly better than them. Than AdMech, but it's not a big deal. If you want to interchange those, it's in the same spot, in my opinion. So
we have them roughly in the same area. They're going to be fine. They're middle of the pack. I think the win rate's going to stay at roughly the 40, mid 40s.
Probably, yeah.
Like I don't think 40%. It's going to change that much, honestly.
No, they're not going to be. They're not going to. It's not going to be a big difference for them right now at this point. But yeah. On to the next one.
Yeah, because you can't fix the issue of the biggest issue with guard is the guard players.
And
next up is Imperial Knights.
You can't get rid of those.
Yeah. Imperial Knights, another army I play. They got, I'd say, way better. How do I explain this? Going through walls is very nice with the big models, since you're no longer locked to, wow, my entire movement phase was me trying to get around one building. You can just go through it, and if you battle shock, it's usually not a big deal, unless you want to do an action or do stratagems like rotate ion shields. Yeah. The problem is the good stratagems went up in cost to 2 CP.
Exactly.
Like Trophy Hunter and I think Shoulder the Burden both went to 2 CP.
They did.
And what's the other thing? It's still going to be Armiger spam if you want to be competitive.
For sure, yeah. You're not going to be doing big knights.
They can't go through walls.
Nope.
And I don't think they changed that much Armigers.
I think, was it a few of them got nerfed?
For Armigers?
Points-wise.
That is what I'll check.
Check it out. You have all the stats in front of you.
I like how this edition was like, it's all digital. It's all in one spot. We can do this. I have 4 different tabs open.
At least it's not
physical
8th
books
edition where you needed like a library to go to a tournament. It's like I have this plus.
Actually, for points, Mysterious Guardian went down. Look at that. The Forge World Knights all went down in points for the most part.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, so then that doesn't matter.
Down in points, which is you're not taking those anyway. The Lancer got cheaper actually, probably because of the tank shock change.
I think they'll probably be like very similar to Chaos Knights.
Chaos Knights are usually better than Imperial Knights.
I think I would put them just underneath them then.
Yeah. The problem is they're still a skew army, and if you go with the big bodies, you don't have enough to do anything. The little bodies, you're playing knights.
You can't go with too many big bodies. You just can't play like that.
Yeah, but it's fun. They look cool.
It is cool, but 3 knights on the table and you're screwed. Well, maybe just make them a bit tougher.
Even
T14.
tougher?
T14.
T14. They're T12, and the main issue I have with them is the 3-up save. But you can't give them a 2-up save because if you're fighting in a casual game against someone without anti-vehicle, knights automatically win.
Just rotate ion shields. Do you think, this is a discussion for another day, By the way, I can plug it right here. We have a show coming up called Rapid Ingress, which is going to be launching this week. We're going to do it on Monday. It's going to be 7 fast topics. It's going to be a bunch of topics. I don't know if you've ever watched the show called. If you're a sports fan, you'll know the show called Pardon the Interruption. It's basically 2 talking heads. You have a bunch of topics on the side, and we have a couple of minutes to talk about each one as it goes through. And me and Anthony will be going back and forth with them. So that'll be a fun show to do. We have some good topics for that. But what I was going to say is maybe this will be a topic for one of those shows.
I think I can guess what it
Knights
is.
should get an invuln save
In
for
melee?
close combat.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say should super heavies be in the game.
Oh no, they're still fun.
So should they get an invuln in melee? Maybe a 6-up because that 3-up really makes them suffer.
6-up invuln, that's useless.
It's better than literally nothing.
Well, they have exactly, but at that point, just make them a 2-up save.
But then, because they have to consider casual games as well, a 2-up save becomes unbearable against not anti-vehicle armies. And then, I don't know, that might make him too strong. Oh, thank you, Avocado.
I don't think so.
Avocado Molotov. I still love that name.
Avocado Molotov. Thank you. Yeah. And Gamer Pros here. Great stream, guys. Love this channel. Yeah. Thank you. He's always in our live streams, right?
Also,
Appreciate
if you
all
like,
you guys. Thanks for supporting.
If you like my stupid hot takes, Rapid Ingress is gonna be great for that because I can just
Anthony
go
has
off.
a lot of those.
Yes, because experience.
There's one of our buddies was like, people. I don't think people understand, like, because they were saying some people watch our live streams and they're like, you guys are mean to Anthony. We're like, dude, we're mean to each other. Like, we're not mean to each other, but we chirp each other. It's like a hockey locker room. We're like, I walk into the studio and be like, Anthony, why are you wearing what did you say to me the other day? I was wearing a golf shirt or something, and you called me an old man. I don't know.
Yeah, you were just wearing such a generic golf shirt. I was like, I just made some comments about when I saw it.
Calvin Klein. It's Calvin Klein.
I was like, you made fun of me for my button golf shirts, and then I see you wearing it. I'm like, what the hell?
I just call you Charlie Sheen, or I call you an old man. I just be like, oh, the old man's here.
I still love that comment of you look like a 65-year-old retired sailor. The drip.
That's funny. He didn't say like that. He said you're drip.
The drip looks like a 65-year-old retired sailor. He's
accurate. We got a comment here from Michael. He says, make them have a feel no pain and melee. That could work too.
Their detachment ability,
that could work.
Lay low the tyrant or whatever it's called.
A 6-up feel no pain.
Already gives them a 6-up feel no pain. Yeah,
it does. But not everybody takes that.
And yes, they do. You never take the other one.
But that's the thing though, because people want to make the knights more durable in close combat, and where's the meta swinging to? Close combat armies, right? So
over time, yes.
You need to give them something, otherwise how are they going to compete? Like when a bunch of 200 point how many points is it for they're kind of got pretty expensive now, actually. I'm not going to lie. There are 280 points for Death Company, but those can one shot a night.
A lot of things can one shot a night. That's kind of the issue.
So,
but if you make them better, they're too tanky and unbearable in casual play.
But can you trade 280 for 500 points that easily? Is that fair? I don't think so. So maybe
the issue of a super heavy skew army.
But it's not a big. But anyways, that's a topic for Rapid Ingress. I just tried to throw. I know a lot of people have been mentioning this. It's nothing new, but I think it's where the meta is going. We need to say there's so much. There's so many armies that are really oppressive in close combat, and it's like knights have no chance against that. So why are knights mid-table always? They just become mid-table armies.
Skew.
They're skew, and it's like if they don't take you off every objective, they're just going to get pummeled in the middle by a close combat army. And the only time they were good is because they had a million buffs at the beginning of 10th edition, and that all got nerfed, and we saw exactly what happened to them.
We kind of got some of that back. Just the one thing I wanted back is not back yet. Since they were designed around giving a 10th edition. What? No. Now they reroll. They got some of the rerolls back.
No, I'm saying, what did you want back?
They were designed in early 10th to give a bondsman order and also receive a bondsman order.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They still don't have that. So the Gallant could
I
give
know.
advance and charge to a little guy and then can't do it
Yeah.
himself. I
Yeah.
That kind of like ticks something in my brain where I'm like, I want it back.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, on to the next one. Enough about knights. Leave them where they are
It is
in the
Space
middle.
Marines,
In the Space Marines.
loyalists.
I said it already before. I kind of give it away. I think they're going to be similar to Chaos Space Marines. I feel like they have very similar play styles. Not that they're similar play styles, but like the abilities of their detachments compared to the Chaos ones, they're going to be very similar in that respect. So I think they're going to be in that middle pack there. I think Chaos is slightly better than regular vanilla Space Marines, though. When I say vanilla, I mean the ones from the
Yeah.
main detachment, not like Blood Angels
Codex
and
Space
Dark
Marines.
Angels. Yes, exactly.
Codex Space Marines suffer from one issue.
Can you even say Codex Space Marines anymore?
Well, yes, because they're Codex compliant Space Marines.
Yeah, okay.
So the compliant Space Marines have one small issue. The divergent chapters get everything you have, but extra.
Yeah.
Like, why would you just not play, say, Blood Angels and have access to Ball Predators or whatever else, and Death Company? Yeah. Or why not play Black Templars? I got access to better Lancers.
And you can still use Gladius. You know, there's nothing saying you can't use Gladius like Dark Angels will.
They get that book plus their book. How's that? That's just straight up better.
Do you feel bad for people playing Ironstorm?
No. Look, every time I fight Ironstorm, I get annoyed. Not annoyed, but just like, here we go again.
So you don't like playing Space Marines as procs as Eldar?
The constant rerolls, the full Oath of Moment with the free rerolls.
It's the auras that they lost were nasty.
Yeah, the aura of lethal hits, the constant rerolls, the full rerolls to hit, great. And the really good guns when they already hit well. It was just kind of annoying.
So you're saying you didn't like my Dark Angels Ironstorm?
I didn't like taking the D6 plus 4 Lancer to the face.
Hitting on 2s and wounding on 2s?
At least against other las cannons, my Chimera can survive.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll still survive, but oh my god, I don't know. It gets me.
So Space Marines, let's just put them underneath Chaos there. They have. I mean, there's ability for them to be better, but we'll see.
They kind of suffer from the problem of main faction. GW has to design them for the new player thing. They're the most popular faction. They have so much variety, but they have to be approachable.
Yeah. I mean, between the nerfs and then just like you said, you can just take other Space Marine factions that are like Blood Angels or whatever and just get such better detachment rules and make your army. I mean, it's not even the Ball Predators. The Ball Predators are good, whatever, but it's why am I going to take A if I can do A, B, C? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dark Angels is a perfect example. If you play normal Space Marines, you get 7 detachments, right? If you play Dark Angels, you get 10 detachments and Deathwing Knights and whatever else.
Exactly. And you open up a different part of the codex. So
you would just stack your codex on top of theirs.
Exactly. And you're going to see, like I said, Dark Angels playing Gladius anyways, so they get to double dip. Get to go backwards and be like, we'll use that. We'll show you guys how to do this.
We'll get her done.
Which is funny. All right, next one. Oh, Necrons. No, not Necrons. Are they worse? Please tell me.
They got changed. Usually I hear a little bit of trickle information from every faction after a change. I haven't heard too much from Necrons. I think that means they're kind of doing fine, since they're not complaining, they're not glowing.
Yeah, I'm just going back reading what Michael is saying. I agree with him as well. And also Kraft Cheese is saying too many boring units, in my opinion. I agree with that as well.
I mean, with Space Marines, 9th edition, they had 230 data sheets?
Yeah.
Now they're 90, which is still a lot.
Still a lot, but they're cutting down slowly. You're going to see the some things get squatted, which is it has to happen. It's just too big of a codex, and there's too many things, and there's too many old models, and there's too many Forge World models, and it's just I miss the Forge World stuff. Yeah, I miss the Forgeable stuff. It gives a nice flavor to the.
Let me
Space
just show
Marines.
this.
But anyways,
This is Necrons,
Necrons.
Codex Necrons. Here's the changes they got in the field manual.
Let me see.
2 red
read that.
icons and that's it.
Where are you sharing that?
This is on the stream.
Oh, okay. It's not popped up yet.
So, Wraiths got nerfed because everyone was spamming it. And the Doomstalker, I'm kind of surprised got nerfed. I don't... Oh, is the Doomstalker the tall War of the Worlds guy?
Doomstalker? Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I did see him a fair bit, actually. What else did they do to Necrons? I don't know. I haven't really heard a peep from them.
Manlet Marines. They're still there. Manlets are there. They're just not good.
Now.
Why would you take them? Too many points for 10 guys that are... where are you going to put them in? Put them in a Rhino and just go old school. Really just shock people.
Cosmic Precision got changed a bit. Cosmic Precision is the Hypercrypt Legion. 1 Necron unit from your army, excluding monsters, is the new addition that is arriving using the Deep Strike rule phasing ability this phase. So they can no longer target monsters with that stratagem.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. They're still going to be very good, though.
They're still a good army. But they didn't really get... They didn't change much. The Catan didn't get nerfed.
I mean, they already got nerfed.
I think the biggest suffering for Necrons now is just going to be the secondary changes.
I agree with that.
Because they're a slow army. And I guess the Hypercrypt just got more vital.
They're very, very tanky.
Very
Where
tanky.
You have them... I think they're going to be like... They might be middle pack as well.
You think middle pack?
Yeah.
I'm feeling kind of... What do I feel? I would still kind of say edging amazing.
I think they're... No. I think they're like similar to like Nids right now.
Well, Nids we're going to have to talk about because they got a big upgrade.
Yeah, I think that they're equal now. I think they're like... They can trade with each other. Nids got better, but I don't think they're like A tier. Let's just put... Where do you want to put them? Bottom of B?
I was thinking... I'm just taking a minute to think about it.
Bottom of A?
First, I thought better than Death Guard, but the more I think about it, they're not as good as Death Guard.
No, I think...
What are they suffering from?
They're definitely not good as Death Guard. I'd have them like... I have them under or just above Space Marines, in between Chaos and Space Marines.
You think they're not as good as Chaos Space Marines?
I think Chaos is better, yeah. Right now.
At what point do we bump
we gotta see what happens.
Chaos up a tier?
Huh?
I'm going to go with what you say for that because, like I said, I haven't heard much about Necrons since the changes.
I think they'll still be there. They're going to be a great defender army.
Actually, let's talk about Scary again. For team tournaments, he switched to Necrons.
Exactly, because he's probably playing defender, and they're very, very good at scoring. You can't deny their secondaries, right? They're one of those very mobile armies and putting stuff in deep strike and
Cleanse.
Keep launching it in your backfield. Cleanse. And they have their Satans that do damage. That's about it. And they're hard to kill.
I think people figured out how to fight Catans. I think people are slowly shifting away from Hypercrypt and towards the Canaptic Thrall. Other main one they take. Because I think people learned with Catan that 4-up save makes them kind of easy to take down.
Catans don't scare me.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
Wraith
Blobs are still nerve-wracking.
They just score really well. So like I'll put them in between like Chaos and Space Marines, right in the middle between both of them, divide them.
We got the next most slapped army, I'd say, after like Eldar.
That?
Actually, no, Chaos is like probably the second most slapped.
Eldar,
Orks.
Chaos got slapped, yeah. Orks did get slapped.
They got.
Oh my god! Okay, bully boys deserve it. I forgot. I feel bad. We have so many guests on the show in the last couple of months. I forgot his name. He came on. He's from Battle Ready, or I forgot where he was from.
Was it Dion?
Dion played his Orcs there. He played Bully Boys. And what did I bring? Oh, I think I brought World Eaters.
World Eaters. Was it?
And was it World Eaters?
I'll check while you could keep going.
It was World Eaters, I think. Anyways, no. It was Grey Knights. It was Grey Knights.
Great. Grey Knights,
But
yes, you're right.
so I was doing a bunch of shenanigans, and he was like walking up to stuff and just nuking it. Even though the Grey Knights did take out a bunch of men's, those mega knobs, it was too much. A 4-up feel no pain on a unit that is already tough is too much. Twice again, 2 turns, 2 was like. I think we were saying this when we were reading Bully Boys. We were like, why do they get every single good thing in the game? Like,
You were saying
how
that.
does GW let that happen?
I was saying they get WOG basically half the game.
They get to fight on death for free, or not for free, but it was like 3-up, right? It was
I
a
think
3-up.
it was 3-up when they were in a WOG.
Which is twice when it's going to happen. They're going to fight on death in the 2 times, like 2 turns that they're in combat, because after that you're going to be dead. So they get to fight on death on a 3-up, which is crazy. They get advance and charge twice a game. They have a 4-up feel no pain. They have 3 units that are you're going to spank the living crap out of you. Plus they have knobs that are coming out of trucks and doing that. Then you have characters that have almost every good rule that you can get. They were really it was too much. It was too much. So
and it was half the game.
Did they get hit too hard though?
I don't think so. Like, they still have Bully Boys in the sense of like turn 1 nothing happens usually, and then either turn 2 or turn 5 nothing happens, which means like turn 2 and 3 you have WOG, or 3 and 4 you have WOG when you need it.
Yeah.
When all the stuff happens, you have WOG.
And they're good at tank. The tank shocking is still great for them. Like they can tank shock now. There's you put a wrecking ball, your strength 12. You're just not going to get 14 dice. Believe it or not,
nerf the Gorkamon.
How many times did it happen to us?
Which one?
Justin rolled 14 dice on a tank shock and didn't roll 1-5. And then I started laughing at him. I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, how do you not roll 1 out of 15? And then I did it twice. It happened to me twice after that. I got karma.
Oh yeah, you got karma because we were practicing on before the Pariah Nexus, I think it was. And yeah, he did 14 dice and to get a single mortal. I'm like, well, I'm good.
Yeah. David says Mega Knobs did nothing wrong. Yeah, right.
Look, 2-up, 4-up, feel no pain, and toughness like 6. Oh my god.
I don't like the models. I want them to get upgraded. Like then I'll probably buy them. But like they just kind of I know Orks are supposed to be derpy, but I don't like the model, so I never had them. And then Justin was like, "Are you gonna go buy Mega Knobs now for like a tournament?" I'm like, "Hell no! These things are gonna be nerfed in like I'm just waiting for it like tomorrow."
Oh, they look
and
pretty
it
cool.
happened
What do you
within a
mean?
week. I'm not a fan of them. They look like they're in you remember Eric Cartman when he's Osmo?
Oh, like
Osmo?
cardboard
Osmo?
armor.
They just look like
Osmo?
in like Osmo, yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
They look like Cartman.
You should paint one like that.
Don't give Kevin any more ideas. He's got a million of them. So I guarantee you, if he's watching right now, he's going to do that. Just write Osmo across.
But give him like the Ogren belly.
Chest. Oh my god! Just 3D print a cardboard box with the holes cut out. Oh my god! I am Osmo.
No, get a Tau head and just poke a hole in it.
Oh no!
Keep it all GW. Tau head, Ogren stomach, Mega armor.
That being said, I still think they're decent, but they got hit hard. They're not going to be anywhere they would have been.
You know what I think with it? I think they went from broken to amazing. So from S to A.
No, they got hit harder than you think.
But Green Tide is still really good, and War Horde is still nice. Dread Mob is funny as well.
You're going to be really shocked where you think I should put them then.
What are you going to say? Like doing fine or what? Suffer?
I think if AdMech has been our scale of like where the great stuff, they're below AdMech.
Really? I think they could wipe the floor with AdMech. Even after the nerfs.
Maybe. But I think AdMech has so many shit. Imagine taking all their OC and just making them 0.
The thing is, there's still ways around that. Like, if you have positive modifiers to OC. I don't know. And they can't do the -1 OC when they're, dead.
you got to get to them, and you have to do that for that to happen. So
They have to
and
be
orcs
within
don't
what
have
3 inches, so you get a chance to do it.
Orcs have no shooting though. Remember, you
They
like
don't need to shoot
AdMech.
3 inches.
AdMech will decimate you before you get to them, and then you get to them, your numbers are going to be
Are you assuming
dwindling.
WTC layout? Because melee
Yes,
does do pretty well in WTC.
it does. I'm just saying you're still going to have to get to them, and AdMech I think will do really well, and they're going to be able to throw a lot of bodies on objectives and do those kinds of shenanigans like minus AP, sorry, minus OC and um oh man,
The Doom
sterilizer
Crawler is going to
or
have a really
sterilizer.
good time into Bully Boys or into Green Tide.
Okay, put them right above. Just put them just above them. Then we'll just say orcs
You
are a
think they're
little bit
worse
better
than
than
like
AdMech.
Space Marines though?
Yes,
Okay, you play them, so you got the weight.
I think they got hit too hard. Sorry.
Wow.
The reason. Am I being too harsh, or I just think they're not? I don't think they're.
You might be a little too harsh because it's your army and you saw them on top of the world and get punched down.
Okay, so move them up 5 spaces.
Well,
I'm
5 would
just
put them
being.
into
Am
amazing.
Are you saying I'm being dramatic?
I don't know because, like I said, it's not my army. I'll keep them where they are because, like I said, it's your army. You know what happened to them.
Because Eldar are my main, one of my mains, and then Guard is one of your mains, and then whenever they get hit, you're just like, no, we're still good. Don't worry, we're good. We don't want to like show. Like,
I'm
fear.
Doomer with Guard right now.
I don't do that with other armies. Like I just take it. I'm just like when Dark Angels got hit, and they're one of my main armies. I'm just like when Dark Angels got hit, I'm like they're shit. Like I'm not gonna deny it. They're garbage. And when Eldar get hit, I'm just like we're still good. We'll find a way.
And you don't feel that
We'll
with
find a
Orcs
way to
anymore?
do it. I don't feel that with Orcs. I feel like they're not done. I just think they're going to be like very mid. For real, for real.
Well, if we want to get to something way stronger than Orcs,
Yeah.
right now we have Sisters.
Oh yeah, that is definitely stronger than Orcs. I can tell you that.
Look, that codex was a blast to read.
Oh my god.
Most of the codexes I found kind of boring. The lore was nice. I like how they broke down
Yeah.
like chapters, missionaries, like pantheons, whatever they're called. The lore is nice. The showcase is great. And then I get to the rules, and I'm just, Jesus Christ.
Everything's good. Everything's good.
The second I
the
saw
best way to say it.
Pentient Host, I was just like, there's no way the points were
Everything's
staying
good.
what they were.
Yeah, everything's good. It's the best way to say it. It's like your stratagems are good, your enhancements are good. Every unit has great abilities.
You know how I feel on
combos
Math
you can
Hammer,
do
right?
are great.
I ran the numbers for Repentia into a Rogel Dorn.
God.
They had good odds of Repentia with the right buffs to one-shot a Rogel Dorn.
And what does the missionary do again for the Repentia?
The missionary or the missionary is just +1 to wound, I believe.
Which is great.
But the Palatine, I think, gives lethal hits,
Oh my
which is
God.
way better.
With
'Cause
5 attacks each.
You can crit on 5s with full rerolls to hit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention something going back because
sorry.
VTS used them yesterday. By the way, VTS, if you're still in the chat, I didn't have any inner circle companions, and after playing, I'm like, you know what? Because we hated them early on when they first came out with the Codex, and I'm just like, these are freaking fun. Like I forgot to say, you can choose 2 profiles with them, and one of the profiles is exploding sustain 2, sustain 2.
Is it sustain 2?
Yeah. Sustain 2 with +1 to hit. It doesn't stack anymore. Like you can't.
Wow.
It's still gonna be. Yeah, it doesn't crit on 5s like in 8th edition.
But it's 5 attacks each with sustain hits 2, and you can get full rerolls to hit.
Exactly. And +1 to wound if you're attacking a character unit, or I forgot the way. If you have a character and you're attacking a character unit, it's one or the other. It's either if you have a character attached to you, or you're attacking a character unit, you're +1 to wound as well, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, just trying to say that those guys are really fun. What were you saying with what we're talking about?
The Sisters?
Yeah.
Pentian Crusade was very cracked out, and that my army going up like 500 points was, it's still really good even with that points increase. Like, if you look at the Sisters, I just want to pop it up because it's just funny to look at, because it should go to show how good most codexes, the points are wrong and are way above what they should cost. Sisters was way below. Like
Points cost?
Yes, the points cost.
Sisters. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, from the codex, but the codex wasn't the real points.
Yeah, it's never the real points, but I think almost every single codex before this, they costed more than they would actually be. Let me just pop this up. Look at all this red.
Wow.
There was 6, 7, 8, 9, 7 units that did not go up in points in the entire codex.
That's crazy.
One detachment had every single enhancement go up in points. And that was very deserved because there was an enhancement to let a character join a Pentian unit, so Repentias. It was 5 points. It's 25 now.
What?
Yeah. 25.
The Repentia are insane. Like, oh my! I don't want to give
20 or 25 now. Yes.
If you guys don't know what they do, like you can just tell by math hammering it. But
one-shotting and
the
doing.
The Monday night matchup came out into like you just like they just shredded everything you touched with them, and I don't want to give away what happens in the game because it comes out Monday, but members can watch it now. You were not scared of anything coming their way because it's just like I got a million attacks.
He was smart against them.
+1 to wound.
Like he was smart against them, and I whiffed into like the Patriarch unit, so that he got some really funny fights.
Even with your whiff,
the whiff, it was brutal. They made their points back every fight phase.
I will say this: bring a precision unit and go right after the Repentia.
I would say the kind of the opposite. Flamers. They only have a 6-up save.
I mean, yeah, if you have Flamers, go for it. But
they only have a 6-up save. Just shoot them. They're going to be taking in rhinos. If you have a rhino popper, use it.
You're going to get a lot of slack for taking them without a rhino.
Yeah.
Because you just foot slog them, but it's okay. It was very thematic.
I really like even the new Canonist with jump pack. She's very good. Just the next best one, I don't know if it's going to be Army of Faith or Hallowed Martyrs. Basically, St. Catherine's ability army-wide of 2 faith dice, which is absurd, with really good detachment abilities. Or
how are these Seraphim?
How are good as Seraphim?
Yeah, are they points-wise?
Seraphim or Zephyrim?
Sorry, Zephyrim.
Are you sure you mean that one?
The jump pack ladies.
There's 2 units of them.
Which ones did you take? Because
I usually take, I believe it's the Seraphim that are shoot and move, and I think Zephyrim. That's the one, yeah. That's the thing. It's like Seraphim and Sephirim. There's a shooting one and a melee one.
Not the melee ones, the shooty ones, the shoot and move ones.
I like them in Bringers of Flame just because you can get 96 plus 9 flamer shots, and you can give it dev wounds on one of those volleys.
Yeah, and you can destroy chaff and then move into a position, do like objectives.
Seraphim could be good now, though, with the Canonist with jump pack.
You took a huge blob of them, though. I don't know if I would take that many.
I just did it because I like flamers. That's it.
Okay.
Because they get 2 flamers per... they get 4 flamers per 5 because it's 2 each.
Immolator's worth it still?
Yes, because the reroll wound roll is very nice if you don't want to use faith dice on, say, Retributors. Since Strength 9 is still Strength 9. Or, faith dice. It's always good to have the Immolator. Just it's a smaller transport that can buff up the inside unit. What's really good, though, is still the... what do they call it? Morrigan unit? It's the Morin Vol Paragon unit. They got tankier when they were already really good.
I witnessed it multiple times.
You witnessed the weaker version of them. They got tankier.
What about Morin Vol?
She went up in points, but she's still amazing. Her ability got changed. It's no longer add 3 attacks, or changed it to a set characteristic in the command phase. Now I think she could spend a miracle dice to add 3 attacks to each weapon, which I think she could do it more than once. They added a lot more ways you have to spend miracle dice.
They did, yeah.
And people think, I saw some words of like, yes, there's more ways to spend miracle dice, which means you don't have them when you need them. You're going to spend the bad ones. Before you
Yes.
weren't, instead of having a pool of 1 to 3s you never used, now I'm just going to use it to buff my units, get more uses of them, more chances to reroll them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
They're. I mean, where do you think? I think they go in. I'm. It's pretty obvious. I think they go in. Good grief, GWY
oh yeah,
for for other reasons.
good grief.
They're the top
They're
for sure.
they're nuts. Even with the
Their
giant points
their codex
increase,
is insane.
they got so many good rules, so many good units. The changes they got were good. Flagellants lost twin linked, but they're now
doesn't
4
matter.
attacks and become 6.
That does not matter.
Yeah,
Although
and I
you did
think you
something
could get
funny.
them
I don't
lethal
wanna give it
hits.
away,
So it's
but-
like, let me just do 60 attacks
Yeah.
with lethal hits.
Yeah, lethals. You get 6 attacks each. You take what, a unit of 10 of them. Oh my god.
I don't know if you would take a
Annoying.
unit of 10 anymore. They got more expensive. I think their Fiona Pain got worse, and their weapons are different.
Take 10.
They're
Have fun with
good.
it.
They're still good.
Wipe-
Especially
wipe
in
out
Pantheon
two.
Host.
AP1, right?
No AP.
No AP. Okay. Can you give them AP1?
I believe there might be a way through the enhancement, but that's not what I was looking at. I was looking at Repentias and the Palatine, the Canis with Jump Pack. Arcoflagellants are kind of just slowly falling off the radar. Because
They have a lot of attacks. They're fun to use.
they will clear out a Green Tide army like it's nothing.
And they're pretty tanky, right?
2 wounds each with I think it's now a 5-up Funeral Pain instead of
Which is
4-up.
good. Yeah, 4-up was really good. That
Oh.
was too good.
We found out about the hazardous change, right?
Yeah,
When
3
they
straight
do their
damage
6
now.
attacks, they get hazardous. They can Funeral Pain that now.
They can. Yep.
That
They
is
can take
annoying.
fail pains. They're gonna be. Damn.
Sisters are gonna
Wait, why would they hazard though?
when they do their so they have 4 attacks normally, and they could activate their trigger word to have 6 attacks.
Oh, their activation. Yeah, their trigger word. What's their trigger word? Zoomer.
Bull cut.
Bull cut. Yeah, they're top. Do you disagree?
Oh, and I'm never gonna disagree with that. That's just
All right. Put sisters up there. The sisters are the best right now in our
we
opinion.
complained about Eldar being a cheating army. This is straight up just
Everything's good.
wall hacks. Like it's a dice game where you can just skip the dice.
Exactly. Just miracle dice it all. And you get miracle dices for everything. Like you get a miracle dice for showing up to the game. You get a miracle dice because
So-
it's a Tuesday.
One of the detachments is focused on spending and generating miracle dice. And it lets you use more miracle dice.
Exactly.
But
It's great.
you are spending more, and you don't roll as many just because the Sisters of Battle, the simulacron changed. I think it's re-roll a dice now instead of roll a new one,
Yeah.
which it's
Oh, well.
still nice.
Put them at the top.
I did. They're
Okay.
They're
On to the
ahead of
next
Dark
one.
Angels.
Space Wolves.
Wolf
Space Wolves will
Jail.
be good. They're gonna be good.
Wolf Jail is still good.
Wolf Jail. You call it Wolf Jail. I call it screening.
Justin called it Wolf Jail, and I'm enamored with that name.
You're going to Wolf Jail. You're never coming out. They are like, put them ahead of Death Guard.
Wait,
be,
Wolfen
like,
went
right
up in
there.
points? Okay, Thunderwolf Cav, I get it. Why did Wolfen
Yeah.
go up? Do you know
They
anything
hit
about
hard.
that?
They hit very hard, but
I never saw Wolfen.
the entire army went up in points.
No, just Wolfen and Thunderwolf.
No, but like, what's his name went up in points as well, didn't he?
No.
I see
The
here.
only 2 things are Wolfen are now 300 for 3.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Oh, sorry, Wolfen are 90 for 5, and Thunderwolf are 100 for 3.
Oh, that's even better than I thought then. Wow. I
Didn't
thought they had more
their
nerfs than this.
detachment ability change a bit? Yes, the sagas got changed. Well,
Yes.
there was a change, and I think they got improved. No more Storm Talon, I think it was.
That's crazy. They are going to be better
Wait.
than mid tier.
Wait, what? You know what the saga does now?
Wolf Jail is real.
At the start of the game, you pick one saga and it's automatically completed.
Is that what they changed it to?
That's one of the changes they did.
Oh my god.
And at the end of each player's turn, you could change your saga. And they changed the saga of the warrior to during that turn.
Oh, that's good. That's not bad. That's gonna be good for them.
Yeah, they get sustained or lethals right from the start.
Yeah, that's really nice. I'd
Wow.
say like they're definitely just put them ahead of Death Guard there.
I just want to see Champions of Rust actually used instead of Storm Talon.
Never.
But you get an automatic buff at the start of the game against whoever you're fighting.
Of course, it's gonna be taken. People will use it.
Another baby of mine. Tau. Look, you saw some stupid stuff I did with the detachments already.
Sustained and lethals from the start. Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Not a change a saga. Yeah, you can have all sagas active, but at the start of the battle round, you get to pick one to automatically be completed.
To go off, yeah. So you can have your sustained and lethals, yeah. Or lethals.
Honestly, it's going to be good because I don't know any of the Space Wolf stratagems because I only ever fought Storm Talon.
All right, where's the Tau fish people going?
Okay, they got really nice changes. I already liked their codex, even though they only got 4 detachments. Yeah. But Crisis Suits got buffed.
They did.
All the Crisis Suits went down in points. It's gonna be so nice. So Cadre was apparently one of the worst detachments. This just buffed it so much. Like, you know the flamer ones I use, and how annoying they are. They're 110 for 3 now.
Oh god.
I'm still, when our piranhas come in, might change to Monka, but no one was taking Crisis Suits. That's why it was Ghost Keels and Riptides.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I actually want to take Crisis Suits again. You might see some broadsides, even though they did the weird thing of 90, 180, and 300 points.
Yeah, that was really. They just don't want you to take 3, I guess.
It is a little obnoxious if I have 3 of them with shield drones and you have 30 wounds to get through.
You're a super heavy. At that point, basically. For how many points? 300?
For 3 or 180 for 2. I'd rather take 2 2-mans.
Yeah,
or
100%.
Instead of 2 3-mans, I'd just take 3 2-mans.
They're only T6 though. Remember,
they're 2-up save with 30 wounds in 3-man.
Yeah, you get cover and stuff like that. They can be pretty tanky, but
some armies do eat them.
And they have heavy, right?
They do have heavy. More importantly, the bring it down changes really save Tau.
They do actually. Yeah.
I went from giving 60 bring it down to like 22.
Yeah. That had to happen because it was too easy for fixed, right?
1 unit of 3 Crisis Suits gave 6 points.
Mm-hmm. So bring it down now either 2 or 3?
So bring it down is 2 for killing a unit, like a vehicle unit, an extra 2 if they were 15 or more wounds, and another 2 I think it was if they're 25 or more wounds.
Oh, okay.
It's no longer so a crisis unit. If I go 5-5-4, only give 2 points.
The entire unit.
Because if I just don't take a shield drone on one of them, you only get 2 points for the unit.
Right.
Which is great.
It is great.
Broadsides don't give 4 a model anymore, or 3 a model just for existing.
More importantly, can they compete with the top armies? That's the main question.
The Crute detachment, not a chance. I think
I agree with that.
With these point nerfs and Crisis Suits being more viable, that's more bodies on the ground, more people to do actions, and the more you can do like outflank your opponent. And you still get to be extremely killy.
You do.
I think Tau are in a good spot. I think they're doing fine.
I think they are too. I think they're honestly, they're very good.
Sky Rays are really good.
Yeah. What about we have some piranhas coming in.
Yes, that is funny. That's just for a gimmick. I like doing gimmicks with Tau.
It's still fun.
Like in Monka with their Scout 9, move 14, and then advance. Oh look, turn 1, 2 Seekers and a melt of 4 in your face.
It's funny, right?
And then
why not?
Grenade pack.
Yes, grenades.
I don't know, gimmicks.
It's fun.
It's
It
the
might
spice
not.
of life.
It might not be meta, but it's still fun to do. I think they're like. What do you think? Like right after Grey Knights,
You
in
think they're that
between.
high up and amazing?
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
I was gonna put them in doing fine.
Really?
I think that they should
I
be
think.
compared to Death Guard more than anything, because Space Wolves. Actually, I don't think Space Wolves could even wolf jail them.
Um, I think they're probably top. You want my real opinion? I think they're like top, guaranteed top 10.
Guaranteed top 10. Yeah, actually, that I could agree to.
Yeah. So in my mind, I have them like. I have like because
I
I'm
don't think
thinking
they're
how
as
many more
good as
armies.
Grey Knights. Tau are known for mobility, and Grey Knights have them beat in mobility.
I have them like ahead of Black Templar, ahead of Eldar. I have them like in between. Yeah, I think Grey Knights is the marker. Just put them right under Grey Knights, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
I don't think they can. I don't think they can compete with Grey Knights. I don't think like they can, but I think the advantage goes to Grey Knights
Grey
at
Knights
that
are
point.
tanky and have better movement.
Yeah. So yeah, put them right under Grey Knights.
Yep.
I guess. Would you agree with that?
I, with thinking back on it, like, I think I was just underplaying them just because I do gimmick stuff. When I'm thinking about the good Tau list, yeah, they are brutal.
They're nasty. Yeah.
They're
all
nasty. Like Sky Rays, Riptides.
Oh, you didn't even talk about the stupid thing you do with them.
But
The flying over people.
the grenade pack.
mortal
Yeah,
wound.
that's when I mentioned the grenade pack.
How'd that not get nerfed?
It's not that good. It's CP intense, and you're putting your face in the enemy,
It is, but it's like
and then you die.
20 mortal wounds. But anyways, that's
Average is 9.
still stupid.
You can spike into like 18, but it only averages 9. It's for how much it costs. It's not that amazing. It's just a funny gimmick for stuff you can't normally shoot down.
It's more just annoying.
Yeah, but
All right.
now we have
On to
Thousand
the
Suns who got a lot of changes.
T Suns. You want to read them out? Some of them.
I really like the Doombolt one because
Why do you like it? Because it got nerfed.
because because I played guard and my Baneblade, for example, doesn't get invulns. Your bolters don't automatically damage my Baneblade, especially if it lethal hits. Where are the changes? So, Cabal Sorcery got changed. What is that? Excluding models that have already been selected for this rule this turn. Oh, you can only ritual from each model once now.
Yes.
And Twist of Fate got a well-deserved hit, personally.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because AP2, improving by 2 is still good. Especially on the Flamer spam, you still almost get past the saves. At least it's not just, wow, you're 2 up, 0.
Yeah.
Doombolts, Lone Operative thing. Oh.
The lone op is still there.
No, they did change it. You
What,
can't
for
do
what?
it from 18 inches anymore.
What do you mean?
So you know how before, if you were shooting a lone op character, if you were 18 inches away because you weren't targeting them, you can do it from 18 inches away.
I thought you meant the sorcerer that gives lone op to the Rubiks.
No, he can still do it. It's you no longer ignore the lone op rule.
Yeah, I mean that's for everybody, not just them.
There are a lot of things that get changed for that.
Anybody doing the psychic ability doesn't go through the lone op stuff.
Did they change it for Typhus? I didn't see that.
I don't know, but they should. A lone op should be lone op.
Oh, and it's that enemy unit suffers. Okay. Temporal Surge.
You
you can't do Temporal Surge on a unit more than once now.
No, I know. They have
no more
to do
flying across the field.
Their double move is nerfed.
Now,
nothing you can do about that.
Want to know why I still think this is super powerful?
Why?
You can still do actions.
Exactly.
Like you could just say, "I'm doing this action, move again."
Exactly.
Into the spot you need. That's powerful.
Yep. That is Eldar kind of stuff for chaos. They are the Eldar of chaos, right? They're the tricky ones. I think they're going to be really good. I think they are S tier.
Really?
They have a lot of
shenanigans.
They have a lot. They can do a lot of different things. Like we just said, the lone op. They can do the double moves. They can move around. Speed kills right now, and being able to do these, the more when you can just draw a card and be like, I can easily do this, I can easily do that. There's nothing in that deck that scares you. That makes you a very very. When you can score your secondaries with your eyes closed, it's hard to say you're not S tier, right? So
I'm just afraid of flamers.
Yeah, they have flamers. They're AP -1. You can make them AP minus more than that, but
it's just
that's not the biggest thing.
Like 90% of your army is flamers. That is what scares me.
Yeah, and Magnus can come in and
Magnus, what's it called? The Beast of Tzeentch? The Vortex Beast?
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the AoE guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still there. I don't know if you'll see that anymore, but what are they called? Forgot the Zangors on the discs there. They're called Enlightened. Precision on them. They have a lot of speed. They have precision. Great at doing objectives. They're very fast. You can double move them as well. And
what was the Exalted Sorcerer on discs ability before?
I don't remember why. He's really good right now.
Because now he does the -2 from move and charge.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't -2 from advance rolls though.
No.
That's weird.
The Zangor Shaman's really good as well. Get a couple of those in your list for sure. Zangor Shamans are going to be seen everywhere. I think Dark Angels will be better. They'll be below Dark Angels. But they're definitely S tier. I told you right from the beginning. Didn't I tell you right from the start? As soon as I saw Pariah's stuff, I'm like, 1,000 Suns, gonna go start painting some more models.
Get them ready for the break out Magnus.
Magnus, get the dust off your wings. Yeah, they'll be S tier.
They're scary. At least. Put them in the bottom row so they don't nerf us.
So much utility. Yeah. Put them that would be the most Tzeentch thing to do. Would just be like put them in the bottom.
Yeah, people just you're looking at nothing here. Like, they spent no cabal points for this.
That's how GW does their research. By the way, they just go to all the channels, see where they rank everybody, and just put 1,000 Suns at the bottom. They just leave them alone, or they buff them. Oh, they're in last place. Give Magnus 10 more wounds.
Why didn't we test this, Sam? These guys are right.
What?
It's like GW. It's like, why didn't we test this? You know what? This channel's right. Buff them.
This channel's right. Yeah, they need a buff. No, they're S tier. Put them up there. 1,000 Suns deserve it. They were doing nothing for a long time.
Next up, we have Tyranids. I wish Remy was here to talk about it. He has a lot to say about this.
Oh, Remy would take over the show right now.
Yeah, he would have the next 10 minutes of just, cool, I'm going to go get some water.
I think in general, like you said, they got a bunch of buffs that brought them up. And I was saying Necrons got the opposite level of buffs. The Necrons got hit the way they got buffed. So they're kind of they meet in the middle.
Buff.
Huh?
Tyranids got a buff closer to AdMech than Necrons got nerfed.
No, I mean the strength of the buff that Tyranids got is it catapulted them forward as much as the same amount that Necrons went down. So they kind of meet in the same spot because they were on opposite ends at that point. Now they're closer together. So I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what do you think it's enough? Because before this buff, Tyranids were fine. Just no one really noticed them because they just played the game.
Well,
other than Pyrivores or Byrivores.
To plug our own competitive team, NKG Rami won a tournament with them a couple weeks ago. So I know it was not before. It was before the buff, but
he's really good with them. So I think
really
it's a little different. Because when you see other people play Tyranids, it's just yes, they're playing the game. They're not making me think of anything.
I think they're in a good spot right now. I don't think they're going to be I don't think they're going to be. Are you asking if they're going to be
amazing?
Winning tournaments?
It's no. Maybe
better than AdMech.
Better than AdMech.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if they're better than Space Marines.
I can't wait till the stats start rolling in. Honestly, I want to see a little bit of statistics on like the win rates. But
It's just I'm curious
if
what
I
people are
had to
going to do.
guess, my guess right now is they're going to be one or two factions above AdMech. Because if AdMechs are like deciding factor here, like in the middle, I think they're going to be like two armies ahead of them.
Yeah, so that would put them ahead of like Orks and Space Marines.
I think that's about right. Yeah.
They got buffed, and that I'm happy for them. Happy like what happened to them because they're not overbearing and they're not insufferable to play.
I don't know. I guess I played older editions than you, but I have PTSD from really good Tyranid lists.
Maybe like Crushing Stampede. Crushing Stampede is still
Stampede
good.
was ridiculous, but even
Didn't
before,
it get
way
changed
before
a lot?
that.
Because it was
What?
bad for most of a 10th.
Yeah, because it was very oppressive and everybody took it. It was just spammed. Well, that's what's
And
happened in 10th edition in general.
what
You
else?
spam one or two lists.
I mean, that's what
So
happens when
this
you're
is gonna help.
free.
This is going to help with that. Rami's been playing Assimilation Swarm, so I
Oh,
think he
Tyranids
changed
get some really
recently.
funny stuff now. You can have a -3 leadership bomb.
That's awesome.
And that's really annoying when you're fighting. You need to do actions.
One of the shenanigans Rami used to do was spore mines and making them do actions. They can't do that
Oh,
anymore.
everybody did that. People are happy. Like even Tyranid players are happy that's gone because
Didn't
now
I
they
see-
can play the game without doing that. That was what was carrying their win rate. They don't need that to carry their win rate anymore.
I swear, you guys ignore me when I complain about these things.
No, everybody knew that was annoying. Well, for me, I had the Cyclopses do the same thing. So
I know, but like I can't complain about it and then do it myself because I was doing it with Nurgling. So,
that's why I didn't complain too much. I'm like, they didn't have anything else. I can't complain about it.
but I did it, and I knew it was wrong. you know what I mean? It's like while you're doing it, you're like, this is not right. I scored freaking 12 points with a 40-point unit, like just because my opponent doesn't want to waste his
Time on it.
shooting into a unit like that. So he's just like, yeah, whatever, get your behind enemy lines or whatever.
I think that's what made me feel the most bad with reinforcements. My 55-point unit, so eventually people just go, whatever, you max your secondaries, I don't care. That just made me feel bad. Because I'm like, it was just too good though.
The one game I lost with my Iron Storm Dark Angels list was against Diogo, who's a friend of ours. He plays at X Planet a lot. He's I heard people talking that he's the new captain of Team Canada, but I don't officially know if he is, but he deserves that. He's a great player. He was playing Demons. I remember this game.
Was it the? Oh yeah.
It was the finals at X Planet. It came down. I think he won 85-80, but basically what won the game was one charge. One of my robots couldn't charge his unit off the objective, and that basically won him the game. But what really won him the game was I pushed up so hard into his Great Unclean One and his other big demons. His I forgot what he had. I think he had a Bloodthirster. Bellicor and Lord of Change, and they were like controlling the middle. So I'm like, I have to push everything in there. He just kept throwing a million freaking things in my backfield, scoring behind enemy lines and thing. I'm like, I can't stop any of that.
Yeah.
And they're like nothing units. I'm not going to waste my time with them. But I'm like, okay, I got to take over the other part of the game. But anyways, so I'm glad that stuff's gone. No more.
That's why I'm glad Deploy got kind of nerfed.
Yeah. But
Deploy
demons can do other stuff. All right. So where do you got them?
I put them just ahead of Space Marines.
Yeah, perfect. Go to the next one.
Next up is Blood Angels. They're
Blood Angels.
They didn't really get hit at all.
Anthony, what's the chances that 3 of my armies are in the top tier?
Look, there's something about just what you play that just ends up being.
What should
nuts.
I take? What should I take to the
TGX
tournament? It's going to be a hard decision. I'm not taking. Okay, I'm not going to take. I'm definitely not taking Dark Angels to the tournament. It's going to be between Thousand Suns and Blood Angels. But I think a lot of armies are. There's more armies. They're going to be ready for Blood Angels than they're going to be ready for Thousand Suns, because Thousand Suns have like the whole suitcase that they can pick from. Blood Angels have like 3 things they do really, really, really well. They were Blood Angels are basically what Orks were before they got slapped in the face, but they're a little more not a little more. They have a lot more mobility with their jump pack units and their deep striking and stuff like that. So I'll put the Blood Angels just for that reason that I just said right now. Everybody knows what Blood Angels do, like +2 strength, +1 attack on the charge. They have. I haven't even used the Sanguinor against you guys. The Sanguinor is a great utility unit. He's good.
But you don't need utility when you just wipe us off the map.
Yeah, like that's what they're going to do. They're going to get into you. -1 damage is huge into the Blood Angels. That's why their arch enemy in earlier, like last month or 2 months ago, was Custodes, fight first, and -1 damage. Blood Angels had no chance in close combat against them. And now it's like when they lost all of that, I'm like, okay.
It's like when a natural predator disappears and it just gets swarmed by the guys
exactly.
he hunted.
So I'm like, Blood Angels are low-key going to be ridiculous. And if the meta changes even slightly right now, they have a chance of being an S-tier army. And with Leviathan going away, if there's even a little bit of an advantage to faster armies, Blood Angels are going to be ridiculous. And that's exactly what happened. So they're going to be able to score any secondary they want because you saw what I do with them.
Especially with Investigate getting changed to something better for you.
Exactly. So you bring your
Investigate, engage.
Investigate, engage. You have your jump pack units all over the place. You bring a few units of scouts, so they're always doing your uppy downy bullshit all game long. And then there's not much more. You bring some assault intercessors that are going to be re-rolling everything to hit, everything to wound with units on an objective. They re-roll ones if they're not an objective to wound. If a enemy unit's not on the objective, they only re-roll ones, which is still great. Strength 6 on the charge for regular power swords. They get 1,000,000 attacks each, +1 on the charge, and you put a captain with them, so they have some more buffs. And that's not even the most broken part. You can't trade with Blood Angels because they auto fight on death. And when you kill 6 or 7 of them, they're going to kill the rest of your unit. So
it's still a trade. Like, at least you get rid of that unit.
Yeah.
The problem is you have to sacrifice something to get rid of that unit on a charge.
If 10 knobs go into a unit of
10 Death Company,
10 Death Company,
they're
and
both
kill,
gone.
And yeah, if they wipe the unit, which is fine, they might. You're gone too. Your knobs are gone too, and I'll take that. I'll take that as a win.
Most other armies, if whoever charges wins. Now it's we both lose.
Anthony, and here's the thing: if you know how to bait it properly, if you have that Leontis unit, not Leontis, I don't know why I'm thinking about Leontis. Lamartes unit. We're always thinking about Leontis here. No, the Lamartes unit is -1 damage.
Yes.
With a 6-up feel no pain against AP -2 Orks. I'm just talking strictly knobs because knobs can deal out a lot of damage. So all of a sudden you do Armor of Contempt. You're -1 to your AP, so I'm going to have 4-up saves with a 6-up feel no pain and -1 damage. My unit, if you can bait somebody to fight into that, you're going to basically fight on death. They're going to kill maybe 3 or 4 instead of 10, and you're going to, with those 4 guys, kill 8 to 10 knobs.
So what? Just deal with his unit from range?
You have to.
If you can. Like, can you?
You have to whittle them down. Yeah, you have to whittle. If if you play them properly, you shouldn't be giving up too much. But there's certain
high AP damage 1 weapons would be good into that.
Just quick strike. Like if I saw what I deal with that unit, I would throw if I'm playing Eldar, for example, warp spiders right at them right off the bat. As soon as I see them on the table, both my warp spider units, 2 are going to get dedicated to them. Mortal wounds, take my damage, take the spam, and whittle them down as fast as possible, because that Lamarta's unit, when it gets stuck in combat and the -1 damage and they have lethals, it's disgusting. And the Sanguinor can come down and help take out a character unit and fight first. You can do a lot of things with that. It's crazy.
You know what's annoying with that?
I like it.
He comes down, and if the other unit fights on death, he's still there.
Yeah. Just talking about Blood Angels, a guy that plays in Toronto, Sam. I think everybody knows who Sam is. he's one of the best Blood Angel players in Canada. He left the game for a bit. He didn't like the meta, but I think he'll like this meta for
Yeah.
Blood Angels because it's not. I think his gripes with it was he didn't want to play like 6 tanks, like you know
the
how
ball
the
predator spam.
the ball, not even the ball predator spam, but everybody was running like Iron Storm detachments with 4 or 5 tanks. You were running like executioners and lancers and reapers. He didn't want to do all of that. That's from what I hear, but I think he'll like this meta a little bit better. Maybe he'll come back and play Blood Angels and see what he can do because he comes up with some great lists. So, but anyways, enough about the Blood Angels. They're going to be really good.
Do you think they're broken?
No, there's worse armies than them. How are they broken?
They're probably one of the most powerful armies right now.
They are. They're a very good army. I don't think they're broken beyond belief. I think they're.
Like, you don't think they're like Dark Angel sister tier?
They are. They're in the same tier as them. They're in the same class as them.
Sorry. For me, I have that as broken. For my tier ranking names, yeah.
I wouldn't say that's broken. I would just say they're very, very good.
I should reword it to probably super strong instead of broken.
S tier.
Like, you're not going to take any of these armies and immediately win.
Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah, so I probably shouldn't say broken. Either way, do you think they're? I think they're better than Thousand Suns.
No.
No?
No. I just told you the utility of Thousand Suns is endless. Like, they can do so much with secondaries. When you start whittling down, like at the end of the day, Death Company are very scary, but they're glass cannons. Like, you're going to start whittling them down. And you saw the game against VTS yesterday. He started taking things off the board. You could zoom in and see the smoke coming off my head. Not because I was angry, because I was thinking so hard. You have to start really thinking where you want to put things, because I need every Death Company model that's left, because that's all I have left to fight with, and all the other stuff is just doing my actions. So it's like, I can't use this guy, I can't use this guy. So Death Company are very good, but they can be whittled down. And fourth and fifth turn for them, if they don't wipe you out, you can get them to start making mistakes, and it's just going to come down to player skill at that point. But so there's more room for error with Blood Angels. I think does this make sense? That I think that the best way I can put it is, there's a lot of things that are going to come very easy to Thousand Suns. They're just going to score secondaries like very easily, because their army just allows the movement, allows the ability to get there without doing much. It's just going to be automatic for them.
I think that's some good insight.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be as killy as Blood Angels, but they'll be killy enough that they need to. They'll be as killy as they need to be, because they're going to be doing everything else that they need to do. They're going to sit on objectives, and they're going to do every secondary that they need to get their hands on. And for me, scoring secondaries in this edition is primary objective.
So for Blood Angels, would you say they're S tier or A tier?
No, they're S tier. They're right after. They're literally that's literally the only reason they're not ahead of Thousand Suns.
Okay. And then,
otherwise, they'd be ahead of Thousand Suns.
So next up, we have Votann.
Votann.
I'm trying to think about what I want to say for them.
Pink Gorilla said that's a fair point as well.
Oh, harder to play Thousand Suns?
Are much harder to play. I should mention that as well. So
you get a headache sometimes after watching them or playing them.
Thousand Suns, that's a very good point. So it's not as easy to pilot a Thousand Suns. Don't think you're gonna, for a player that's going into a game being like, oh, I'm playing Thousand Suns and I can beat a Blood Angels player. It's not necessarily true. Like, Blood Angels are, meathead mode. You just kind of like, this is what I got to do. That's why those types of players, if you can, like I just said, if you can, because I'm not a full-fledged like meat. I love my meathead armies. I play world leaders as well, so I love just like me kill you, me shoot you, me fight you, me bite you. That's all I want to do, right? With my orcs and my with my Blood Angels. But those types of players, when they're in that mode, if you can get talking like WTC, ITC here, if you can get them to start thinking at the end of the game and switch that mode, like they go from like, I'm just going to wipe this off the board, I'm going to go on that objective, then you start making them think like, oh, I need to start doing secondaries and moving around. Thousand Suns are going to be doing that from the start. like they're going to be like, I'm going to double move here. I'm going to pull this objective and, be able to do my whatever here that I draw on. This board's controlled. If you know how to spread out your army and with Thousand Suns, you can be really good. I do like a few other units. I mean, we'll save it for another talk though, with maybe for Rapid Ingress when we talk more about the armies. But I like a lot of units for the Thousand Suns. They're much the tool case opens for them a lot more with this with Pariah Nexus and the different types of secondaries. The more variety of secondaries. Do you agree with that one?
Yeah, I think so. I like Pariah Nexus
But very
secondaries.
good point, Pink Gorilla, for saying that they are a harder army to play. 100%.
Yeah, so does that difficulty make them like bump them at all, or bump them down?
I don't.
In one direction. Well, are we assuming it's going to be good players playing the armies they know, or the average player playing them?
If I'm just saying the army's ability. I'm not basing this off player skill or whatever. This is like the army's ability. If you know how to play the army properly, they are going to be better.
So we're assuming they're at least playing them correctly.
You have to, like, you can't just play your own meta with these. This is like we're talking meta lists with these armies. You're not going to run like Blood Angels and a Gladius detachment. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking top meta for each of these armies. I don't know. Are we just overthinking it? Yes, I do think it's going to be harder for them to. Thousand Suns will have a lower win percentage probably early on because there's less really good Thousand Suns players because they are hard to play. When there's a higher skill ceiling, it's going to be harder to play. For example, I forgot his name. I think his name's Dustin Hershaw. You've seen him before. He's Scari's buddy. He plays Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah,
he's a really good player. And even when Gene Stealer cult meta is not the greatest, he's going to tournaments and he's going 6-0, 5-1. He's still playing very well. Because you just can't compare like meta to those kind of players. Scary will win tournaments with Drukhari and D tier. You've seen me win tournaments with Death Guard when they were in D tier. I showed up to a tournament with Death Guard and they're like, "You brought Death Guard," and I win. And people are like, "What?" They're scratching their heads. It doesn't matter. You can go off meta. It doesn't mean. You can go off what's popular at the moment and still win. It's just probably not going to happen.
More often, I see now new people joining and saying they have to play their army only if it's decent, and I'm just straight up telling them that does not matter. You playing a good army or copying a good list, you will lose to the player with more experience. Period.
Most of the time, yeah. Unless it's ridiculously broken, like when Space Clowns were
that was absurd,
like ridiculous. But that was one of the most broken armies I've ever seen.
That was crazy,
and it was strictly a point issue at that point. But anyways, it happens in the meta. But we're talking, I think, too long on this one. But that just goes to show you how close this ranking is. And again, we need to see stats on this. Like, we need to see games happening. We need to see more.
There's interesting things.
Yeah, like the more we play too. We've only played a dozen games in Pariah so far.
Just about,
the more we play, the more we start analyzing, it's going to get more detail.
It kind of feels like we're in 10.5. It changed a lot. A lot of things changed all at once.
Yeah.
So it's
those memes with the horse, and then it's like they'll do like a series like Star Wars, and they'll be like series 1 it was like a sketched out horse, and it's like
an amazing horse, and then an horse, and then a bad horse.
We're like right now we're just like a sketched out horse with a little bit of shading, and then in a month we'll have like a lot more detail and understanding of what's happening.
People will see things that we don't see right now. People will learn how to use the cards and what really changed and how to make the most use of the change.
Yeah, and meta, remember, is
ever changing.
It's like this is the best analogy I can give people to understand that don't understand how meta, why it swings so quickly. Is think of like sports. When you have like, I don't know, 2 or 3 good teams, like right now, if you go to the NFL, you have, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Teams that are just under them, like that you would put in the B tier or A tier, they literally don't build their teams any way else but just to beat that team. So they'll stack, if they have a weak cornerbacks, they'll stack receivers and they'll get better running back. They don't necessarily care who's under them. And what that does is actually opens the doors for teams underneath. Be like, oh, you don't have a good running back because you're trying to beat Patrick Mahomes. Guess what? We have an amazing front line. You can't run on us anymore. And that's what happens in the meta for
It's
here.
a good example here.
Yeah.
When Custodes were on top and keeping down Blood Angels and Orks and such, everybody was building to beat Custodes. Now Orks and Bully Boys was on top. People were building, how do I counter Knobs? How do I counter Green Tide? Well, what do you do? That's nerfed. Well, what are you going to go counter now? Everybody was looking at Sisters, and now people are starting to look at Dark Angels. But what happens when people learn how to beat those? Someone overtakes them, and now you have to beat who takes them over. And for Cullen, we're not talking Inner Circle for Dark Angels.
What?
What detachment are we looking at for putting Dark Angels in Broken? Not Inner Circle.
Not Inner Circle. No, you're gonna take Gladius attachment with them.
It's always back to Gladius or Ironstorm, and it's now Gladius again.
Yeah, Ironstorm's gone. Obviously, they got slapped in the face, so you're gonna take Gladius with them. I wish Inner Circle was better. Honestly, thematically, it would make the most sense. You see people making comments all the time when I'm playing. I played Dark Angel. To be fair, it was not a fluffy list I was playing. We were playing on our competitive night when we play competitive battle reports on Thursdays. And Anthony's like, bring your competitive Dark Angels list. It was an iron.
You know what it was? It was Azrael and Dark Iron Shroud or something.
It was a Dark Shroud and Azrael, and everybody else was.
And then it was Ironstorm.
Yeah,
you were taking him for the CP. You were taking him for the cover. Then it was Ironstorm.
Pretty much, and that's what it was. But you don't have to do that. Is my point. Like that was strong at that moment, but now if you run that, it's gone. You can't do that anymore. That list is done. So Ironstorm is garbage. So
I don't think it's garbage. It got hit hard.
It's got hit too hard to be competitive anymore, especially with Dark Angels. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that. just like what I'm trying to say is basically if you're not in the top meta right now, don't think it's not gonna. It can change very quickly as like lists underneath those top armies. You're gonna see a lot of these. Like you're gonna see Dark Angels. You're going to see Sisters of Battle, and you're going to see Blood Angels and 1,000 Suns spammed at every single tournament. And then you're going to see people that refuse to play those armies. Underneath them, all these armies that you see in the A and B tier are going to be building to beat the tiers above them. And mainly to be able to handle the top 4 or 5 armies. And what's going to happen is the armies underneath, Drukhari, Nids, Orks, all those armies are going to have openings to punch up, basically.
Like you could probably build a flow chart through our tier list here into who's going to build into who.
Yeah. The thing with 10th as well is like you don't have to actually play your opponent as much as you used to. Like in 8th edition, it was more like know your enemy, like know exactly what you need to build and don't get destroyed by a skew list. And now it's like, if I can score my secondaries and sit on objectives, I'm going to score points. And this is what we talk about all the time with 10th edition is like, how easy is GW making it to score points now? Is it just it becomes a trading game. It's like you sit on an objective, then I'm going to deny you, then you're going to deny me. And who's scoring secondaries at that point? Whoever scores secondaries better wins.
Yeah. I've had a passive interest of building a pacifist army just to see how well you can do with it. And like when I fought Justin, both our list ideas were generally the same list play style. It was at an X-Planet tournament. We played each other. I think we killed like 300 points each, and we scored like 78 to 83.
Yeah, you just start trading, and that's what the game becomes.
We just locked each other up. We couldn't kill each other, and it just became scoring. And the thing is, he was trying tactical. He was trying fixed, and I know fixed, so I have more experience with fixed, so I won. That was it, and we didn't kill each other.
All right, let's get on to the next one.
Yes.
But good talk. That was a good one.
Votann. So they didn't change. They didn't change at all.
Well, yeah, they did.
They didn't.
No, tank shocking got better for them.
That's what I was gonna say. All the changes that happened to them are not directly aimed at them.
No.
Like Tank shock is way better. The Hecaton. Woo, toughness 12. That is huge.
Exactly. It's huge. They get 12 dice now instead of what they got before, like 8.
Maybe 7 or 8.
Were they strength 8?
I think it was strength 8. I think it was 802. I don't remember because who the hell is fighting with that thing? But
I know that's another thing. But
what I think is going to save Votann right now is the new Jaeger unit. Depending on the points cost, it has infiltrate. That is something Votann desperately needed. The biggest issue with the Jaeger is they are 5+ save. The second I saw that, I thought the unit was dead in the water. As long as they don't cost like 120 points, I think it could really help Votann out.
I think they're just fine. I think they'll be like
I'm not going to say suffering. Okay. A lot of the Votann players I talk to are kind of suffering just because
they need more units.
They need more units. They are missing things they need. They don't have infiltrate. Only like one thing has assault. And you can't make different styles a list because you do not have the unit count to do it.
And they're slow as fuck. So
if I want to do a vehicle army, I have 2 vehicles. If I want to do an elite army, I have 2 elite units or 3 elite units.
Yeah. I think they're just slightly better than Eldar.
You think better than Eldar?
I want to say they're a little bit better than Eldar. Maybe just underneath Eldar or just underneath Death Guard.
I think they would be underneath Death Guard above Chaos.
Yeah, they're better than Chaos now.
Like I think they're in the doing I think they're top of B tier ish.
Yeah. They're actually I think they're better than Space Wolves too.
They do have so with how good the bikes are, they can do secondaries very easily. Because I can put them in reserve. Yeah. Oh look, I get containment 2 corners done.
Exactly.
And all the buffs to Votann came from just the game changing around them.
Exactly.
They're being stout little dwarves being them while everything changes.
Side buffs. And then the last army in the game is what?
So do you want to put Votann A or B?
Oh, I have them just
under Death Guard?
Under Death Guard, yeah.
I can't argue too much with it because they're better than before. I am happier with them.
Yeah. And the last army is what? World Leaders?
I don't know what happened to them.
They're good. The one thing I'm thinking with World Leaders is when they mirror match into themselves.
It's funny, meathead mode.
Who's gonna shadow box first?
Oh, shadow boxing, just the.
No, when they go into like Blood Angels and stuff, I think Blood Angels are the better version of them.
There would be the same detachment rule, but better.
But they're better, and they have more mobility, and they can fly around them and do more shenanigans.
8-bound got cheaper.
So, what's that?
8-bound got cheaper and exalted.
Yes, they are.
That's nice.
Yep, it is nice. They're good. They're probably the best of A tier, or just as good as Grey Knights.
Just as good as Grey Knights.
Our Grey Knights, we have them at the top of A, right?
Yes.
You know what?
Honestly, I think they're better than Tau. They can like wipe the floor.
They're definitely better than Tau. I'm either saying they're in between Tau and Grey Knights, or they're better than Grey Knights. They're not S tier, that's for sure.
I don't think they're better than Grey Knights just because of the mobility.
Okay, so put them after Grey Knights. I'm fine with that. I think Grey Knights are awesome.
The teleporting is just, if there's something where we don't know if they're better than Grey Knights, can they teleport? Can they mass teleport? No?
Yeah.
Grey Knights are better.
Yeah, pretty much. Can they? I mean, they can hit harder than Grey Knights by a mile.
They hit harder, but hitting harder doesn't always help.
And you can't shoot them. So
there is a point of overkill where it's like, do I need these extra 10 attacks that I already killed a guy with 10 less?
Exactly. No, I think that's a good spot for them. They're up there. They're like top 6 or 7 in the game. 6, right?
We have them at 6. Yes.
That's I think that's perfect. Even if they were top, I don't think they're top 5, but they could be top 5. We'll see. We'll see very soon.
I mean, hey, we put
TGX,
no one in good grief.
TGX is coming up. We'll see.
I have to figure out when list submission is for that.
Yeah.
I might not go with guard.
Let's see the mission pack.
I want to see the mission pack first, but I don't like the detachment rule change. I might just play Tau. I was thinking Cadre. Cadre or Gene Stealer Cult.
No, don't play Gene Stealer Cult. You're gonna get ruined.
Yeah, you're right. It'd probably be Tau then. Maybe Sisters.
Take Tower Votann. Oh, Sisters, definitely. What are you saying?
Well, we don't have Castigators.
Grab them. Grab a bunch of them.
I'll see. I think it's gonna be Tau just because I like Cadre. I want to do my Flamers.
Flamers. Do we have enough Crisis spam for that?
We have Crisis. They're technically all illegal loadouts now.
Nice.
And they're not magnetized. Most of them.
All right. This went on really long. We had a good talk.
Yeah, my throat hurts.
It was good to get all this out because I think this is early. This is before we've seen any kind of stats on the armies. This is what our minds are thinking with the meta, the way it's swinging. I think a lot of people are on the same page with what they think is top and what they think is bottom. So,
but here's the thing: it can change at any time because early on in 10th edition, we're like, this army's clearly amazing, it's so good, and then it never did well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm not including Eldar because everyone saw that right away. But like some armies are like, wow, I can't believe this one's good, and wow, I can't believe this one's not doing well.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Can Drukhari be better than what they are? Of course. Can Blood Angels kind of whiff and not be as good as people think? Maybe. We'll see.
I think it's easier for armies to fight up than fight down. Well, harder to fight up because I could see more Blood Angels players ruining the win rate than I can see Dark Eldar players bringing up the win rate.
Certain armies punch up really well too, so it just depends on the matchup. Like, we're ranking it like that, but then you're like, Grey Knights punch up really well against Sisters, or Death Guard punch up really well against Blood Angels, and it doesn't mean anything. Like an army that's in 14th rank can fight an army that's in 4th rank because they match up really well, but they would get slaughtered by a 6th seed army. So ranking doesn't really mean anything. It comes down to player skill at that point.
This is not like fighting games where you can't go 2 tiers up in fighting game tournaments.
It's not League of Legends, yeah.
Not even League. In fighting game things, if you're an S tier, you will almost always beat the B tier at tournaments.
Oh, you mean for MMR ranking, yeah.
Not even MMR ranking. Like in our B tier wouldn't stand a chance against like S tier if it was a fighting game.
Oh yeah, for like a character strength, okay.
Yeah. But in 40K, there's so many more variables. Player skill is like 80% of it, 80 to 90% of it.
Yeah, that's true. 100% true. Yeah.
And some people go like dice rolls. Dude, if dice rolls were that big of a deal, you wouldn't see the same names on top all the time.
Dice, I've proven this to you. I told you can roll really bad with dice if you move really well. If your movement's really good and your target priority is really good, dice don't matter as much. Dice matter less than your setup and your movement. That is where you win and lose the game.
That's why I just tell people, it's like, don't try to do all the meta strategies when you're new. Just play the game. Experience will teach you most of it.
Movement and just the little shenanigans. Usually you lose a game because you didn't move far enough or you were not aggressive enough. That's you'll always hear like pro players talking about after a game of like, this guy should have been over here. This unit should have been over there. They never say like, if only I rolled better to kill this, or you never hear that in pro games. It's all about movement.
The one time you did hear it, it was memed on.
What?
The monolith deep striking in the back, where he's like, I can't believe he survived with the monolith. And the first reaction, like all the memes were saying, is, why'd you let a monolith in your deployment in the first place?
Oh my god!
He got double sixes, like double invulns, and lived. Luckily, why was he back there in the first place?
Why do you have a house in the back of your deployment zone?
It's like, how do you not screen a monolith?
That's funny. All right, but that's it. That's our ranking.
Oh,
Anything
it was
else you want
fun.
to close? Closing statement?
Uh, comment, like, and subscribe.
That's about it. And check out the Monday night matchup. It's out for members right now. It's going to be available to everybody on Monday. Members do get extra couch talk. That's going to be on Monday. We're going to be doing with Justin and Anthony. They just played the current game. You also get the Battle Desk wrap up with. We only did Anthony this game. We did a wrap up with just you, but I think for the rest of them, we're going to be doing both players on the Battle Desk there.
Yeah.
And it is a new style. So for members watching it right now, we are trying to go with a new style. There's going to be a lot more added to the next ones, like production-wise. We're going to be adding a lot more graphics. Anthony's working on a bunch of stuff too, helping out with the editing. So there's going to be like a three-headed monster effect going on there. We're going to try to get the production to be as high as we can get it. And that's about it. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, join Discord. It's free, guys. Come and have these talks with us in our Discord. We got a great community in there. And thanks to VTS5 again for all the support that he's given
and being king tier. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. 15 gifted memberships today.
Awesome. And somebody signed up as a knight, didn't they?
Mizuki? I can never say it right.
Mizuki.
He's been here for so long and I still can't say his name right.
I know. He comments all the time.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot.
Thank you for joining, Knights.
We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us. Let us know in the comments what you think about your armies, top armies.
Yeah, did we tier it wrong?
Did we?